Boss Reed, I want to tell you something. You're all a bunch of son of a bitches. I just heard what you said.
What did I
You want to get rid of this old kike on the phone. You're going to pretend that you care. Who the fuck are you?
Well, excuse your language now. That's it.
Use your language.
Oi!
Oh, the Marlins won the series 'cause Wayne Huizenga paid big bucks. Believe me when I tell you, now that baseball team really sucks.
Yes.
I feel sorry for Jim Leland every time his players start to joke.
Won't see him.
Believe me when I tell you, now that baseball team is a joke. Wayne Huizenga, he is a major asshole.
Yes.
And you know, every single thing he says is a lie. You turd. Wayne Huizenga, he went and cut the payroll, and the chances I'm winning just died. Now the Marlins, say they need a brand new ballpark with a dome. Believe me when I tell you, they'll have to find another home.
10:03 at 560 WQAM. Today is opening day for the baseball season. Any interest?
No.
Oh, wow. Saw Defoe in the hall this morning. Said they were ripping the crap out of me Friday morning. Oh, we didn't know you weren't going to be here Friday. We thought you'd have some fun with that. We were ripping your ass. And the audience all agreed. All our butt suckers agreed. I said, oh, that's unusual. How could they not have known I wasn't going to be here? I'm not going to work on Good Friday. Didn't I mention that I wasn't going to be here all week? I mentioned I wasn't going to be here Friday. How could they? Maybe the fact I wasn't going to be here on Friday was the reason that they suddenly decided to launch this all-out attack. Neil's lost his sense of humor. He didn't think our April Fool's prank was funny. Was it funny?
No.
I talked to 6,200 people after I left here on Thursday. I asked 7,800 people, was that funny? That every one of them said
No.
No. It was pathetic. And if these guys would have had any credibility, it would have been damaging, but thank God they don't anyway, so who cares? So I'm driving to work this morning, and they must be continuing. Now, today is what, the 5th of April? But they must be in a really good mood. They have to be continuing the April Fool, don't they? Because they were talking about a new baseball stadium this morning. And Geldy's, oh, yeah, that's what they need. If they get the new baseball stadium, that's the only way we can make the money to go out and buy the players. You know what I think they ought to do? What they ought to do now is take professional athletes. You know how they have auctions for horses and cattle? You know, you've seen those. And that's what they ought to do is, like, you know, put them up there in their jock straps and, you know, just put a number. Yeah. Yeah, between the lips and gum would be good, you know, like chewing tobacco. And just put a number on them and then auction them off. Wouldn't that be exciting? We put it on TV. Okay, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. How much do I hear? Do I hear 25 million? Huh? Because they're mostly a bunch of whores anyway. Oh, my God. Talk about waxing emotional and being all over the place. Of course, Defoe, he's always got one cheek on either side of the fence hanging over. And believe me, there's plenty of hangover these days. Wow. These people don't want to listen to me, do they? They do not want to listen. You know, I mean, it's bad enough they had it very sunny last Monday. How many dead sports people can we have in this market before they finally cut the crap? This is the fattest, the most unbelievably obese place in the history of the human race. Everybody that works here except us. And, of course, we're not part of the, thank God, part of that thing anyway. But the rest of them are just ballooning up to enormous proportions. God. The Boogster and Defoe. Thank God Hank's lost a couple of pounds. Thank God for that. Nice going, Humper. Jesus. So the Panthers are really, of course, now they got a good excuse. They got all those injuries. You know something? It doesn't really make any difference. The injuries, no injuries. We're talking about a mediocre team with unacceptable management. And you know something? When it all comes down to one player anyway, what difference does it make? If that's what it's going to come down to, it tells you what we already knew, that it was a mediocre team. And by the way, Gildy, it isn't just haven't won a game in the last four, the Carolina Hurricanes. They're like one win in their last 10 games. Just begging, pleading, please pass this up. We don't want to be embarrassed and humiliated in the playoffs. Please take first place in the division. Please, Florida, win a couple of games here and there, and we'll just roll over and play dead. Every day, Carolina loses. Every day, waiting for something to happen with these Panthers. It's happening, all right, big time. The New York Islanders, the Washington Capitals. Oh, my God. And then, of course, you expect to lose to Ottawa because they're a much better team, and it wasn't really that close anyway because the goal that Dvorak scored in the second period. Nobody else will comment on this, of course. It was only 4 feet offside. Saw that replay 2,500 times. They showed it way offside. Maybe in hockey what we need is 200 linesmen and 72 referees. Make sure we get and when you get that many people clogging up the ice, the action will be slowed down enough, they'll never miss a call. Want to make sure to get every call right. So we got, let's see, Hank's going to be on it too from the stadium, from PP Park. Any interest in that?
No.
No. I hear some of these assholes out there calling this morning, oh yeah, well I'm going to take my 11-year-old son out to the ball game, and as long as there's baseball going on, and take a look at the look on his face. Yeah, just wait till you take a look at the expression on his face after each one of those stale weenies out there at the PP Park. Some of that crappy chow. He'll have a look all right that says, take me out to the restroom immediately, if not sooner. Which, thank God, at least at PP Park we got some restrooms. That's good. In other words, it doesn't make any difference if we got a bunch of 5-year-old kids in ragtag, home-sewn uniforms out there playing on the field. We're going to go out there because we're sucked into the hype. And the idea, the notion, who put the notion in the basket that we're going to have a goddamn new baseball stadium here? They're talking about it like it's a done deal.
Oh, yeah, there's 5 different locations they're talking about in the paper, and yeah, and I don't care where it is as long as we have it.
That's right, Gildy. Just keep on sucking, baby. Just keep sucking. Man. God almighty. I think one of the dairies is going to steal him from us, just to hook his lips up to one of a cow's udder. I mean, unbelievable. Replace all the milking machines in town. Boy. Going to have a new, and the best part of it is some of these fools, including even my good close personal friend, the Mad Dog, who I think is totally gone mad and lost his senses. You see, I hate to break the news to you. How many times do we need to say it? But people don't want to go to Dade County. Oh my God, how can you say that? That's a terrible thing to say, even if it is true. People don't want to go to Dade County, and the majority of the sports fan base, such as it is down here, is in Broward and even in Palm Beach, not in Dade County. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. It's well researched. It's well known. So now the new rumor they're starting is, oh, this great new baseball stadium, which will allow them to make all this more money out of your pockets, by the way, they're expecting, and buy all these players at the auctions. The deal is that they're going to build it right down there next to the American Airlines Arena, which you'll notice is only a couple of blocks away from the old Miami Arena, which we didn't want to go to because it was in a bad neighborhood. It was a slum. But even worse, the new arena over there by the water, there's no place to park. So I hope they do build a new stadium right next to the American Airlines Arena. Oh! I hope they build it. Will they come?
No.
No. But, you know, I mean, Dade County is only bankrupt. City of Miami is beyond bankrupt, but somebody somewhere will find the money because we got to bring him back to Dade, bring him back alive. And like I told you about a year ago, let's build a new stadium and a new arena. Let's do it alternate years, okay? This year we'll build a new stadium, and then by next year, the Mac Arena, that'll be worn out. We'll build a new arena, okay? Oh! Let's do it. Let's get with the important stuff, okay? Stadiums and arenas, ballparks, etc. That's the important crap. 10 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM. Hank will be on from 2 to 3:30. We got the baseball pregame, 3:30. Any interest?
No.
Marlins and the Mets?
No.
Any interest?
No.
Then we got the Panthers night. Panthers and the Cavs. Any interest?
No.
That's all for Neil today. The Marlins have to play. I'm sure Neil doesn't mind going home.
No.
Now down 2 or 3 sports holes and hear a team that blows. As the rest of us with lives turn off the radio. It's Marlins baseball. It's boring and it's big. Marlins baseball. It's such a goddamn city. Designed for those who don't like to think and get excitement from recalking the sink. It's Marlins baseball. Oh! No one gives a Forget the entertainment. The Marlins want their payment. Contractual agreements must be met. Despite the ratings dip, they have to pay the bid and hope they find an audience whose brains are dead. In Marlins baseball, it's time to make a sandwich. Marlins baseball. I'd rather hear Jim Manning exciting at the sound of drying paint. Designed for those with trouble getting laid. It's Marlins baseball. Priceless asshole schmuck.
One spot open in the rotation. Pitch bunted at and missed.
Marlins baseball. No one gives a
Pitch bunted. Little trick go up the third baseline. A very good one. Picked up by the third baseman. Sinks it on the first.
Don't drop it. Ah, damn it, he dropped it. Christ. So they got an extra special. Look at this in the Herald this morning. Look at that. Marlins Major League Baseball Extra with a bunch of guys on here that nobody ever heard of before. And they stole a line from some of us, from me and Bob Green and even the Rim Man. When you start stealing the lines from Rimmer, except you taking the check, that's the only one you can steal. But other than that, it's not a matter of if they'll win, but when the Marlins will win again. Not a question of if, but when they'll win again. Kind of like the Panthers. Someday they'll win another game. But when? And then Dan LeBastard's got his big article. Oh, it's not, forget the next 161 games, savor today, which is really a way of saying the next 161 games are going to be really, really ugly because the other team's got all that money, like the Yankees and the Braves, etc. The same old suspects as always. So just go out there today and pretend you're all excited because it's opening day. Get swept up in the hype of it, okay? Am I swept up?
No.
Couldn't give a crap less. Boring. You know, and even if it weren't for all the other stuff, it's still boring. I was a baseball fan for about 200 years, and then all of a sudden one day, after they expanded to 600 teams, I said, you know what? This is boring. I mean, really boring. You know, and so they had the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa thing last year, which and nobody cares if the Yankees won 100. With all apologies to Joe Costello, who's running around here in his Yankee. And by the way, at least get the one with the pinstripes, okay? Huh? I was going to say in his Yankee pinstripes, he's got the other uniform, the one that's dull and gray and boring. At least get the pinstripe one, Joe, okay? Christ. Yeldy said you look sexy in it. But at any rate. Isn't that what he said? I heard him this morning. He said, oh, that uniform is pathetic. But in the pinstripes, you know what the Yeldy always says about Joe?
Hey, that's a good-looking guy.
I'll find it. Oh, God. It's just boring. How did I wake up one day and realize how boring it is? Not as boring as Panthers hockey, but next to it. Wow, we got that big game with Washington tonight. 2,500 tickets remaining. Are we going to be there? And I'll be there. I will be there. Am I going to be? And how about those Leafs, huh? Oh! Every day they win. They don't just win once in a while. I told you they'd have their little bit of a slump. They'd come out of it. I had my fingers and legs crossed. And sure enough, they're smoking, baby. They're scoring more goals in one day than the Panthers score in a month. Every day, 6-5, 5-1, 5 to this, just smoking, cleaning up. So anyway, I get back last night, and I don't want to sound, because I'm in a great mood. I feel good. By the way, Dr. Mark, I'll see you next Monday. Did you call her yet?
No.
I was going to go there today, but you know something? I feel better. I'm going to be my own doctor with the help of Dr. Mark. He's a great guy, and now I appreciate him. I'm serious. Now I really appreciate Dr. Mark Laporta. This man is great. I'd rather have a doctor who does less, who errs on the side of caution, as opposed to another pill doctor that kills you with pills. I'm going to go on today about pills that kill and doctors that kill. I may never take a call here today, okay? I may just lose it. I may go apeshot. I'm serious. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of quack doctors. Some of the doctors, they ought to have like truth in advertising. When you open the door of their office, you ought to hear, quacking sounds when you walk in. To at least give you a little bit of a warning that they're about to butcher you up with their goddamn pills, with those prescription drugs. All you detail assholes out there, you're killing us all with your pills. What are you smirking about? It's the goddamn truth. And it's only by accident. I keep reading and reading. I'm even rereading the Atkins new Diet Revolution book. I'm reading on the plane there last night. And the stewardess, she tries to hand me I didn't take the meal, of course, because who the hell wants to eat that crappy airline food in the first place? Who needs it? Why should you eat when you're not hungry anyway? So then she comes around, well, how about could I interest you for dessert? We have a hot fudge sundae. Do you want it?
No.
No. Guy next to me, he gets one. Didn't even look good. Do you want one?
No.
How about a fruit plate?
No.
And she looks at me like disappointed. And I'm reading this Atkins, and I hold the book up with the front cover. Look, honey. I said, here you go. And she just kind of like, huh? Okay? Yeah, she was a Juliet. Yeah, Juliet. This wasn't Air Canada. This was American Airlines. Oh, you said you'd never fly them again. Well, that's the way it goes. No, they got you by the balls. You're going to fly wherever, whatever airline you can, whenever you want to go. How many choices you got? So anyway, get back last night at Miami International. It's 10:30 at night. And by the way, Ma, the sky isn't falling. God, I got so much stuff to talk about. I have a spy report about my mother. I woke up this morning in a cold sweat, and 2 words were in my mind: nursing home. They kept reverberating through my mind over and over again. Nursing home. Yeah. And then after that finally cleared out of my mind, I thought, I bet you those condos in Carriage Hills are going for some big bucks nowadays. Those are the 2 things I've been thinking about all morning. I'm out of town for the weekend, thank God. Saturday afternoon, John's on the internet. He's found this European music, one of these websites on there with the music you can actually listen to and all that, and he's obsessed, whatever. So he's on there for about an hour, I guess. Well, guess who's trying to call the house? And, of course, I'm not going to get a second line. I'm not going to do like the Rimmers and put in 25 different lines. I don't get that many calls, okay? 1 line is enough for this kid. So if you're using if you're on the internet, naturally your phone line is tied up, anybody trying to call you gets a busy signal. Oh, well, you know what? Too bad. There's not going to be any calls that important coming to my house. Well, guess who's trying to call while the internet is taking up my phone line? Ma. Yeah, Ma. Well, Ma keeps getting a busy signal. Bap, 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 busy signal over and over and over again. Ma, being psychotic and hallucinatory as she is, goes into a panic. Calls the neighbor. See, George is on the floor already. Calls the neighbor to come over to the house and check and make sure that everybody's still alive.
Oh, my God.
Exactly, that's right. That's right. Panic Ma. I'm only 56 years old. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Sometimes I even leave the house without my goulashes and rubbers on. How do you like that? Yeah. Calls the neighbor to have him come over and check and make sure who's been naughty and nice and what's going on, because she can't get through. It's a busy signal. Bap, bap, bap. I think the next couple of weeks I'll just leave the phone off the hook. That makes a good busy signal, doesn't it? True story.
Like, what could have happened? You're on the phone, you have a heart attack, you die, and that's why the phone's off the hook?
She'd be the first one to know. If anything happens to me, she will be the first, the second, and the third one to know. Calls the neighbor in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday. In a state of panic, in a state of frenzy. Oh, I can't get through. I've been trying for an hour. The sky is falling. See, this is what happens when you have too much, like most people in this town, most of our old folks in this town, too much time on your hands. Just like, when you're young, you know what they say about teenagers? Too much spare time on their hands, they get into trouble. Old people, too much spare time on their hands, they get into trouble. Because they get bored. They have no life. So I apologize to my neighbor for having to inconvenience him to come over and knock on the door, and John to tell him there's nobody dead here yet, okay? Even the dogs are still alive, although my little dog went out for a couple of bufo toad adventures last night, one when I got home. And believe me, when I got home, I was in no mood to be washing out some little dog's mouth. The reason being that here I was back in Miami, my plane lands on time, 10:30 I waltz through the airport, get into my car, and I have parked, by the way down, which I don't think I've ever parked down on level 1 before. And don't ever park in the Dolphin Garage, by the way, at the Miami International Airport, the worst. Not that the Flamingo's so much better, but the Dolphin. They must take the extra dumb people and make them all park in there. So I figure, well, I'm on level 1. This is great. I'll go right down to the exit, salida, and surprise, you go down from level 1, you can't get there from here. You have to go back up to get out. So I have to do my little spin around U-turn there. I'm going back up, and I'm like, where the hell do I go? And I'm looking for signs. You people at Miami International are the biggest bunch of morons in the history of the human race. You're dumber than sawdust. That's our poll question. Who's dumber, the people who created the parking situation in there and lettered it and marked it all up, or the people who actually park in there? So I finally find exit, salida, anything, okay? Now I go to salida, and I make my turn there, and here I see, there's 85 booths, but of course only one little green light. At that time of night, there's only one on. God forbid we should have too many people working for $4 an hour. There's 2 cars ahead of me. Okay, not bad. I figure not bad. I got my ticket in my hand. I got my cash. I know how much it's going to be. I'm all prepared. A seasoned traveler. I'm all set to go. Ready to pay. Get out. Let me out of here. Let me out.
No.
I look in the booth where these 2 cars are. There's nobody in there. And I'm thinking, oh, no. And I wait and wait. And finally, the big, dark-complected guy comes out. And he's got like forms in his hand. And I thought, oh, no.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. So now he's inside, and he's not even communicating with this asshole who's sitting over there to the right of the booth, waiting to where you're supposed to pay. He's writing, and he's writing, and he's writing, and he's writing. Even Shakespeare never wrote so much. He's writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. And now I look behind me, and there's about, half a dozen cars. Now there's a line piling up. Poor bastards getting home late at night on a Sunday, like to get home sometime before 4 in the morning. Get a couple hours shut-eye. Now, here's the best part. The guy in front of me, who's in there with his family, young guy in his, I'd say, mid-late 20s, Julio, he gets out of his car. Now, see, I don't know whether to thank him or to curse him. He says to me, this guy's going to be a long time, and mine's going to be a long time, too. So there's another booth. If you go out and make a quick U-turn, go out there to the on the other end, you better go over there because it's going to be a long time. Thank God I had just enough space to back up and make a quick U-turn and go over to the other thing and pay to get out. Keep this in mind. The guy in front of him is going to be a long time, and he's going to be a long time, too.
He's an asshole.
To be continued in a moment. Is this incredible? Welcome back to Miami, Neil.
Oh!
Movie, I fucking on!
Father-in-law, would you get off my butt? If your daughter's so perfect, why'd she marry such a put? Father-in-law, you think you're better than me, but I don't eat in cafeterias, and I have cable TV. Always wearing black shoes with Bermuda shorts. You complain about sciatica, you won't drive an import. Too much swearing in the movies, too many songs at the beach. Everyone except Reagan should have been impeached. Father-in-law, you like driving big cars, and you hate any music that has a guitar. Father-in-law, you tell me I am a creep, but I ain't clipping coupons every day of the week. I'm nothing like you, don't go to the dog track. I don't drink hot coffee when I eat a Big Mac. Your daughter's my wife, I will not destroy her. You're just gonna have to get over it, you just marry a lawyer.
10:32 at 560 WQAM. Okay, don't let me forget to get back to my parking lot story in the airport. But first, I want to dedicate a very brief thing I want to read called The Jock Closet. I want to dedicate it to the morning show on this radio station, The Worst Team. Well, I got a good sense of humor. I've obviously lost mine according to Defoe. Boy, is he getting fat. He is getting enormous. Some guys handle you'd think when a guy gets divorced, he's going to start trimming down a little bit. With trim on his mind, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I want you to listen to this very carefully because it echoes some of the things that I've said for a long time. Very short. It says, consider this popular, indeed legendary scene that is played out time and again at high schools, universities, and community centers, and is often featured on television and newspapers and magazines. A group of men get together in what are usually the rather close quarters of a locker room and take their clothes off. In various states of undress, they stand around talking to each other, preparing themselves for what is to follow. Ritual garments are donned. First of all, the jockstrap. The jockstrap is perhaps the quintessential homoerotic ritual robe because just as it enshrines the symbol of the myth of masculinity, so too the straps that originate in the top elastic circumscribe the buttocks and disappear at the anus, bringing us to that place where masculinity meets its mythic undoing. Then a coalition of pads and suspenders work together to dramatize and accentuate the masculine form. Then men pull themselves into tight pants that closely adhere to the shape of the buttocks. And not forgetting the twofold nature of Apollo, an elaborate set of laces frame the cupped and much vaunted male genitals. The men then work themselves into a psychic frenzy of masculine unity and run out of the playing field ready to get the other team. One man bends over, while another behind him puts his hand between the inclined man's legs, grasps a ball that's shaped like a large testicle, and tries to throw it to another man. Everybody wants the ball. Men along the line of scrimmage press themselves against each other enthusiastically. As a man on the field runs with the ball, many others run after him trying to grab him. Unless the ball goes out of bounds, each play climaxes with men lying on top of each other, the testicle-shaped ball forming the nucleus of this masculine clutch. The whistle blows and some variation of the same theme is played over and over. When time is up, the boys go back into the locker room, take their clothes off again, and shower together.
That's a gay club, you moron.
That's for the morning show. Okay, anyway, getting back to these assholes. Now, first of all, you drive around this town, as I do. I take the Turnpike coming to work in the morning. I take the Turnpike going home at night, okay, in the afternoon. Twice a day, 5 days a week. How many times have all of us pulled up to the Turnpike? Let's say we get to the green sign, you know, where you get the change, where you're feeling the change? And you get behind some asshole who obviously has no money. He has no money. Why are you driving on a toll road if you have no money?
He's an asshole.
Huh? Am I the only one who gets behind people who have no money, who have to pay the 75 cents? We're not talking about like if you were driving on the Turnpike from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale to the Sunrise exit and have to pay whatever it is, $10, $15, whatever the hell it is nowadays. We're talking about 75 cents. What kind of person out there doesn't have 75 cents? Then, of course, even better than that are the ones that go to the blue signs, the one that say exact change in big, big letters, exact change, 75 cents or 50 cents over here by the stadium. And there's somebody sitting there with a $5 bill at the exact change booth, looking around like, oh, what do I do now? Right? Am I right? Every day of our lives. Every day of our lives.
He's an asshole.
Right. But here we are. Now stop and think about this, okay? You're in the airport. Your car is parked in the Dolphin or the Flamingo garage. When you went in with your car to the garage, there's a little thing there with an arm up, okay? And in order to get through, when you drive over the sensor, a little ticket comes out. When you pull the ticket out, the arm lifts up in the air, and right there on the little booth where the ticket comes out, it shows you the parking rates, $10 a day, long term, whatever the rates are, okay? Unless you're an absolute moron, you know how much it's going to cost you to get out depending on how long you're going to park. It's not a freebie. It's not a free pass. Then you go in there and you park your car. You go into the airport with your bags and your ganze mishpacha. You get on your plane. You go someplace. Now, one of the things that I always do, because I do a lot of traveling, always do, and I also have a lot of different kinds of currency, sometimes Canadian, sometimes Dutch, sometimes Italian, whatever kind of currency. But I always make sure, let's say I'm going to go away for 10 days, times $10 a day is $100. Easy arithmetic. Even I can do that. So I make sure I have $100 US minimum that I have left over. So I pay the parking, I can get home. What kind of an asshole, seriously, what kind of an imbecile goes in there and parks for 2 days, 5 days, whatever? There are only two possibilities that I can think of. Two. For people sitting at that booth, filling out paperwork saying, oh, this is going to be a long time. Number one, you lost the ticket. Huh? Lost the parking ticket?
No. You don't have to do paperwork if you lost the ticket.
What do?
You say, I lost my ticket, and they just charge you whatever. There's like a flat fee.
Like I said, there's only one possibility that you can be there at that booth, and that is No dinero. They even take credit cards. They got the little symbols up there. They take American Express, Visa, MasterCard. Well, you got it. Whatever you want. What kind of a schmuck gets on an airplane? What kind of an asshole can afford to take his family on a plane and go from Miami to even West Palm Beach? Miami to Fort Lauderdale by plane. That's how stupid they must be. And not be able to not have a credit card. Not have the cash. $30, $50, $20. And you know what I'm thinking now? I'm thinking some of these assholes do this on purpose. It's like kind of rent a space, and I'll pay you sometime down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's like you said, and they never left town before.
But why did they come back? Why did they come back? Sir, the two of you who were in front of me last night, why did you come back, you assholes, you? I mean, there are different kinds of stupidity. But this has got to be one of the greatest kinds of stupidity. You have to be dumber than sawdust. And neither one of these cars were like the little old brown Toyotas, the stereotypes. These were like real honest-to-God cars. And the guy in front of me was like this Julio that come out, a young guy with a family, well-dressed. Didn't look like he just came off a banana boat. How stupid can you possibly be, sir, not to have the cash to pay to get your car out of the frickin' lot? And, of course, maybe you don't care about the 20 people who are getting home 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, 1 in the morning, whatever the hell it is, who maybe have to drive all the way to Palm Beach for all you know. Maybe you don't give a flying crap about how far they have to, how long they have to wait for your stupidity and insensitivity and rudeness and just plain dumbness. That's the price this town pays for so many goddamn stupid people in one place. I don't make it up. I don't take any delight in it. It's the truth. If you don't believe me, get in your car, head out in any direction you want right now, and call me in an hour. And I promise you'll be cursing up a storm, a blue streak. An asshole in an airport, and this happens every time, either in my lane, once in a while I'm lucky it's in the lane next to me, and they're writing and filling out paperwork and taking out license plates. Because somebody is so stupid, they don't understand you have to pay for it. You know what I'm talking about? If you want it, you got to pay.
That was funny.
24-560-QM. So here's a guy that's got the answer to all our parking problems. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, I want to explain everything to you, the problem you have with the parking down in Miami.
Yes, sir.
I work at the airport down there, too, and what's happening here is when people forget their ticket, they have to take down the license plate number, and every night they take down everyone's plate that's in the whole garage. So what they do is if someone goes out of town for more than 10 days or something like that, they'll scam the airport by bringing someone else in.
Well, no, wait a minute. They'll take down the license plate number of everybody who's in the garage?
There's two people that do the whole, they got like the $4 an hour help to go around with like it's inventory. Every night they take down everyone's license plate number. And when you lose your ticket, what they're able to do is run your plate number through there, and it tells you exactly how many days you've been in a lot. So George was wrong when he said that there's a flat rate.
I'm going on old information.
Okay, and the other thing is what you can do is, say if you're in there for 10 days, you're going to end up paying like $80, right? I mean, $100.
Yeah.
Okay, what you would do is you'd have someone else come to the airport with you. That person would say that they've lost their ticket. Okay, now when they run their license plate number, they're going to pay the $10 maximum fee. The other person's going to take your ticket that you just took, and they're going to pay $10 too. So no one paid you. So in essence, what you've done is you're only paying $20 for parking when you've been there for 10 days. You understand what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
Okay, so you've been out of town for 10 days, okay?
Yeah.
You owe them $100. You come in, you have your friend drive into the airport too. Now they say that they've lost their ticket. Their license plate's not in the system.
Mm-hmm.
So when he goes up to say that he lost his ticket, they run his plate. He's only been there for 1 day, so they're going to charge him the max, which is 10 days. Where you owe him $100. You go up there with his ticket. Now you pay him $10. Actually, not even 10. The hourly fee, whatever that is. Got me?
Yeah, now I got you.
I explained the whole scam to you right there. What about that, huh? Does that explain it to you, or you're still pissed off about it?
But this wasn't a scam.
But I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going on there.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're absolutely right.
This wasn't a scam. These were people who didn't have any money.
Don't explain that. I don't even have any explanation for that one either.
But you know what goes on.
I go out of town myself, too, and I always take money when I come back, too, and I don't understand why no one else does the same thing.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Thanks.
You have a nice day.
You too. For whatever you, the 2-for-1 deal. I'm a little slow, I guess. I'm too pissed off about the idea that people, because I see it all the time. I see it, like I said, on the Turnpike. 75 cents. If you don't have 75 cents, why are you driving a car? How can you be? I mean, I'm not saying we ought to enforce the vagrancy laws anymore. Should we?
Yes.
Yes. Let's round up these deadbeats, okay? Get them off our roads. Round up the deadbeats, the vagrants. Instead of worrying about the goddamn, who's going 5 miles over the speed limit on Hiatus Road. Round up the deadbeats, the derelicts. With their little beat-up old jalopies. Those are the ones, by the way, on the Turnpike. Always. I'll give you an even better one. I go home one day last week on the Turnpike. I got my exact change, my 50 cents. Now here's the guy has just gone through, but he stopped a little on the other side. Okay, so evidently the guy behind him, dark-complected guy behind him, in the next car, they're together. The guy behind him, though, sits there looking at the basket. Okay? He didn't even make a motion in the basket. He's just looking at it. Because the arm went up for the other guy who was in front of him. Because he put the 50 cents in the basket, okay? The arm goes up, you go through. That's how it works, rocket scientist. Dummy. He's sitting there. And I'm, of course, behind him. Do I know how to pick him or what?
Uh-huh.
I'm behind him. So now I just whip out and I go into my, there's nobody in the change thing, and I got the exact change, and I give Sylvia the 50 cents, and I go on my way. And now the guy in the car in front of him backs up, comes back, throws 50 cents in the basket, and the arm opens up and his buddy goes through. And I'm thinking, no, please tell me this isn't happening. Please tell me nobody can be that stupid. Why was this man? I mean, I was right behind him, so it's not like he threw the money and it fell on the ground or he missed a basket or like only 1/4 went in. No, he just sat there looking at it. Maybe he thought he had psychic vibrations, and if he looked at it with a certain look, it would open a goddamn thing on the gate. The only arm that went up in the air was mine with a digit, like sticking up in the middle. Like, what are you doing, you crazy old bastard, you? Why? I mean, we're talking about it's like getting up in the morning and taking washing your face. We're talking the basic, simple, rudimentary elements of life in the universe. And we've got so many of these people. And I'm not singling out one or two. We've got a crap load of them who just can't do these things. Who just they can't feel the change.
All of these things.
Like a sensible person. Like I said, you put enough money aside before you go on your trip. Even if you're going to go to Vegas and lose your ass, you keep a certain amount of money like you're not going to touch because you got to get your car out. You got to pay to park. Or if you're on the Turnpike, you know where the exit is. So just before you get there, in fact, what I do in the morning is I take the change from wherever I got it. I stick it in my shirt pocket. So when I get there, if I have $1 bill and I need change, I got the money. I don't have to sit there like these, especially women. Women are famous for this. They get to the Turnpike toll booth or whatever toll booth it is, and then they start fumbling around for change. They start feeling the change. They get the purse out. They're looking, here's a quarter, here's a penny. No pennies, please. Well, and then they heave a whole handful of crap in there. Maybe it's going to open or not, as the case may be. And way over in the change booth, she's looking out there and says, still short. Still short. And at that point, I'll take the toilet paper, thank you. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's perfect timing. I'm about to hit the toll booth at on the 75 going across.
Well, just sit there for a little while, okay? Back everybody up.
I did bring the right change, by the way.
There you go.
Well, but one time I have to say I did have to write a check for 75 cents. I admit it.
They take a check?
Yep.
Why is that?
To the DOT. Because I didn't have any money. I looked down and I didn't have change. I thought I had change. I had no money in my wallet.
You had no money in your wallet? Now, when was this, last week?
No, this is years ago.
Yeah.
I was young and poor.
Yeah.
Listen, Neil, You still there?
I'm here.
Oh, Neil.
Hey, listen, I know you can afford the call because we're paying for it, so I'm not worried about that.
Another thing about the closet jocks or whatever you were saying before.
Yeah.
I wanted to just ask something, and maybe somebody else has had to have witnessed this. Every gym I've ever belonged to or gone to where there's like a locker room, why is there always some old guy? He's over 70 years old, and he's just walking around naked. Like he goes to the scale, he goes to the water fountain,
yeah.
He goes to the sink, he combs his hair. It's like he enjoys it, and it's like his wife, or if he has a wife, let him do it at home. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's really bothersome.
I can understand, like, even a coach on a hot day on a football game, you know, he's going to get sweated up. Maybe he wants to go in there and take a shower with the guys. But how come the guy who's like the traveling secretary who's sitting in an air-conditioned office, how come he's in there taking a shower naked with these guys?
That's what I'm saying. And it's like,
I think you just answered the question.
It's the same guy everywhere I've been in gym.
Okay, pay your phone bill. Look at this poor guy. I feel sorry for this guy. His phone crapped out. He doesn't have 75 cents in his pocket. Hey, we're not all big shots like you. We don't have 75 cents. Let me say this. If you don't have 75 cents or 50 cents, get off the road now. Park it, take the keys, call the police, tell them where to pick it up, and go home. In fact, call a cab and then just stiff the cab driver. Well, that's probably a thing goes on, too. I have no idea because I've never seen that. It wouldn't surprise me in this town. People call a cab. They go from Fort Lauderdale to Miami International Airport. They get to the airport. Okay, that'll be $54. But, oh, geez, sorry. They pull a rimmer. I left my wallet at home or something like that. They open up the wallet and nothing but moths fly out. Here's Oakland Park. Hello. Oakland Park. Going once. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
These airport morons should be arrested. They're just horrible. It happens all the time, but I have a cure for you on the Turnpike.
Yeah.
Get the SunPass box.
Where do you get that?
You call 1-888 TOLL, TOLLFLA, and you set up an account with them. They'll mail you the transponder. You put it on your windshield. I travel between Boca and the Glades.
Yeah, but they don't have that over here. They don't have that over here by PP Stadium yet, I don't think.
I think they do.
Do they?
Yeah, it's the same lane. You just go right through.
I'll have to look when I go home today. I don't think so.
And they'll have it on the sawgrass by the sun.
I know they have it on the Turnpike itself, like by Commercial. They have it up there.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Just drive right through.
Okay. Thank you, sir. 1-888-TOLL-FLA. Hey, I'm going to do it. I'm sick and tired of waiting for geeks, waiting for assholes that are fumbling with the change, don't have the change, are trying to stick pennies in the goddamn thing, pennies from heaven. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
Great.
A few years back, my wife and I were in the Bahamas. Someone sort of stole our wallet. We had some friends, not friends, but acquaintances, gave us enough money to get out of there. We get to the airport. It was the same thing. They took our license number. This is about 7 or 8 years ago, and we sent the money in. Ever since that, we learned a valuable lesson. What I do when I go into the airport now is I take the ticket and how many days I know I will be there plus some, and I put the money in the ashtray with my ticket, so no matter what I do, wherever I'm traveling, when I come back, the money's in the ashtray for me to get out of the airport, and that's it.
You leave the money in the car in the ashtray?
In the ashtray, locked up, yes, sir. If it's $20, $40, whatever it is, with the ticket, so when I come back in to the airport and we're ready to leave, no matter what I've done, if I've lost my wallet, anything, the money is there for me to get out of the airport.
Okay, now
what
kind of car do you drive, and what's the tag number?
It is a 1991 Corvette.
Okay. Woo! Okay. 10:56 at 560 WQAM. Oh, God. The longer I live.
You thought that I was stupid?
Good point. Hasta la vista, baby.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Tonight on the E! True Hollywood Story, it's the life of the most popular kids entertainer in the history of television, Tinky Winky.
Born Morton Tiberius Winkowski on the Lower East Side of Sheffield, England, this lovable purple triangular-shaped antenna-wearing doll never thought he'd become the alternative lifestyle cult icon he now is. But things weren't always as rosy as they seemed for the man they now call Tinky Winky.
In the early days, I was so poor that I turned to crack. So, to supplement my meager income, I started pimping.
But Tinky Winky would soon become even more desperate for money. So desperate he had to stoop to what he now admits was an all-time low. A spoken-word Beatles record.
Picture yourself on a boat, on a river, with tangerine trees and marmalade sky.
Although his public life would bring him fame and fortune, it would be Tinky Winky's private life that would thrust him permanently into the spotlight.
Things really came into focus for me after an all-nighter at Studio 54 when Halston invited me back to his law with Freddie Mercury and Elton John.
Tinky Winky, the whole truth tonight on the E! True Hollywood Story.
By the way, would that laser thing work in the Macarena, do you think? All right. Hey, and if Al's listening out there by the pool, our tubby, by the pool, our tubby foolish friend, where the hell is mine already, Fatso? Oh, by the way, does the audience love those real distorted spots we got on and the ones that are out of phase? I don't want to get started again because we went through this for the last 14, 15 months. It's getting a little old. The real distorted ones are, because we don't really care. We just don't care. We're concerned about ball games. We're concerned about the stuff I was reading about before, taking a lot of showers naked together. That's what we're concerned about. Not about getting the spots on so they can understand it. So anyway, that having been said, which, we can talk about that, but I got something that's much, 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 much more important that I'm going to spend a little bit of time on today. And I'm not just saying this to suck up, because I'm not going to suck up to any doctors, but Dr. Mark is a good guy. In fact, he's probably, because he underdoes, I'm probably alive only because I've mostly gone to him. Because he doesn't over-medicate. And I want to make it very clear, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, I'm not a nutritionist, but I do a lot of reading. And in fact, the only reason I'm still alive, I think, is because I do a lot of reading. And the stuff that I read this weekend, first of all, I'm rereading Dr. Atkins' New Diet Revolution. And one of the things that I read in there about what makes you metabolically resistant to his diet, and believe me, I've been doing his diet so faithfully now, and the weight loss is so excruciatingly slow. I mean, my blood sugar is great. I feel better now. My blood pressure is good. But the weight loss is so slow, it's like at a snail's pace. One of the reasons why, perhaps, one of the drugs that makes you metabolically resistant is diuretics. One of many categories, by the way, along with psychotropic drugs like phenothiazines, antidepressants, Prozac, tranquilizers, lithium, anti-arthritic medications, hormones like estrogen, prednisone can cause weight gain, many cardiovascular medications, but then there are the diuretics, like hydrochlorothiazide. Last week we had this controversy on this station, including some crap in the newspaper, and I'm going to say it again. When you're happy with the doctor, he's done something good for you. When you're unhappy with the doctor, it's probably because he's done something that hasn't been good, and you're getting real bad problems from it. And when a doctor prescribes me hydrochlorothiazide, which interferes being me a diabetic and pushes my blood sugar way up, and which also I'm reading now causes your cholesterol to go way up and your bad cholesterol to go up, and also interferes with your weight loss and about a million other damn things, and interferes with your diabetes medication, I have to scratch my head and wonder to myself, what the hell was this man thinking, is what I have to wonder to myself. And I'm going to tell you, toward the end of last week, which is why I was going to go see Dr. Mark today, is because I've had these increasing abdominal pains and like I'm dying over here. Like, what is this? And I'm starting to read up. I figure I'll read up on the side effects of all these damn prescription drugs that I'm taking. And let me say it again. Don't go off any prescription drugs because I'm talking about this on here. Talk to your doctor, okay? But believe me, this needs to be talked about. Oh, and your cholesterol is high. Somebody put me on. It wasn't Dr. Mark that put me on Pravachol either, by the way, however long ago it was. Too long. And I'm starting to read about Pravachol. which is like another one of those great cholesterol-lowering drugs, alleged. And the stuff that I'm reading, I got a book called The Heart Revolution by Dr. Kilmer McCulley, which I bought this weekend. And he writes about the amino acid homocysteine, which causes arteriosclerosis and damages the cells and tissues of the arteries if you have too much homocysteine in your system. And believe me, this homo probably has too much homocysteine in my system. And he goes on to talk about cholesterol-lowering drugs, the statins, like Prevestatin and Lostatin and Prevacor, which, of course, Prevacol is one of those. And about the liver damage that it does and causing cancer in lab animals and abnormal liver function and liver toxicity and gastrointestinal side effects and on and on. So I stopped taking Prevacol 4 days ago. And guess what? Do I have any more abdominal pains?
No.
And guess another thing that he writes here in the same chapter about drugs that do bad things to you. Some diuretic drugs, thiazides, sound familiar, like hydrochlorothiazide, prescribed to lower blood pressure, cause homocysteine to rise, causing arteriosclerosis and damaging the cells and tissues of your arteries and making you feel like crap and saying, I'm dying over here. I'm telling you right now, the doctors of this country, the overprescribers, the pill doctors, are killing us. Killing us. And I'm not saying go off all your medication. You have to be crazy to do that. I would be irresponsible for me to say that. But find a doctor that doesn't believe in all these goddamn pills. The pill doctors of this country, and believe me, I'm furious. I'm foaming at the mouth from pill doctors who prescribe drugs that interfere with each other, that have just unbelievable side effects. And, go home. Good luck. And like Dr. Atkins says, if you've read that book, and a lot of you have to work to start controlling your own blood pressure and your own blood sugar, which the Atkins diet does, and getting off of these damn drugs as quickly and as safely as you possibly can. Because they will kill you. Some people, they got drugs that they have to stay on the rest of their lives, so I'm not going to interfere with that. But the fact is, for a lot of us, especially fat people, type 2 diabetics, bad side effects. Prevacol. Will I ever take? I've got enough of that stuff at home. I could start my own laboratory. Am I ever going to my own drugstore? Take another one?
No.
Hydrochlorothiazide. Am I going to take it?
No.
No. Never again. Never. So thank you, doctor. You know who you are over there at the other place. Thank you so much. And the next time anybody over there gets bent out of shape because things are said on the air, you know what I say? Tough crap. That's what I say. That's my response. Tough crap. It is absolutely the height of irresponsibility to put somebody on prescription drugs, especially high dosages of them, and then just kind of like walk away. Okay, well, he's going to die anyway. He's fat. He's going to croak anyway. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? Besides,
Loan me $50.
Right. What's the address and where do we send the bill?
Highest markup of any product in existence.
Drugs. Freaking, and by the way, Prevacol, if I could tell you how much it costs for 100 tablets of that, I think it's more than $1 a pill. It's unbelievably expensive, so that you can damage your liver and get all bloated up and feel this intestinal distress and all these other things that happen. And by the way, also in this book that I was talking about, The Heart Revolution, Dr. McCulley says, and I quote, if I can find the damn thing, I recommend that these potent drugs, talking about the statin drugs for cholesterol, be used only if you have very high cholesterol levels over 300 and reduced life expectancy because of heart disease. He says, experts have recommended that the statin drugs be used only in people with a short life expectancy, 5 to 10 years. However, the proponents of statin drug therapy and certain pharmaceutical companies have suggested prescribing these toxic drugs to obese children who are at risk of developing heart disease in adulthood, so that they can keep peddling more and more pills and the stock of all these companies can go up. So that's the question you have to ask. Are you willing to sacrifice your life to your doctor and the drug companies, or do you want to live like a little bit longer? How do you like that? Only to people who have cholesterol over 300, which I've never had in my life, or have only 5 to 10 years to live. Which if I keep taking these goddamn drugs prescribed by these pill doctors, guess what? I'll be lucky to make it that long.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Boob Lube. A little bitty on each titty, and we're talking a 40 double D. And the all-new Palm Balm, because love and loneliness go hand in hand. Remember Palm Balm. Now, back to our show.
Dear Atlantis, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the guy whose house you set on fire last year.
All right.
God, I miss you, even though you blew up my car and cut all my hair off. I miss you, girl.
Yes.
But one quick question. Do you think you could let me know when you might let me out of this pit?
No.
One's fed me for weeks, but I'm not complaining. Don't misunderstand me, because I love you with all my heart. But if you happen to see my mother, please let her know I'm not dead yet. Dear Atlantis, I want to tell you that the guy you saw with your best friend, that wasn't me. He might have looked and talked just like me, but that's surely purely coincidental. I was nowhere near that place. I love you too much to look at anyone else. Dear Atlantis, I had a dentist appointment that day, and I was nowhere near the Sheraton Meadowlands Hotel. I would never cheat on somebody who treats me so good and wins all those Grammys, has all that money. Hey, come on, let me out of the pit, will you? Come on.
Okay, 11:17 at 560 WQAM. Don't forget, we got Marlins baseball today, 3:30 pregame. The Marlins and the Mets, 4 o'clock opening day. Any interest?
No.
Panthers hockey, Panthers and Washington Caps, Mac Arena, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:30 the game tonight. Any interest?
No.
Here's Miami Beach. Hello. Miami Beach. Going once. Going twice. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello. Mobile in Hollywood. Okay, moving right along. Here's a mobile in Miami. Going once. Hello.
Bill.
Yes, sir.
Were you getting this information for the protocol? I take that. My cholesterol's over 300. That's the only thing that'll ever keep it at check. I mean, I've tried cholesterol-free diets, and they just don't work for me.
Yeah.
Nothing. Except the protocol, 40 milligrams.
40 milligrams?
Every day.
Yeah. Well, like I said, don't do anything because I said so, but you ought to, huh?
No, I just want to, where are you reading this?
The Heart Revolution by Dr. Kilmer McCulley, MD. It's a hardcover book.
McCulley.
Right.
Okay. Because let me tell you, I tried everything there is, and nothing brings it down. I mean, I'm at 315.
Yeah.
And it's like 210 right now. And I don't feel any side effects.
If it's working for you, fine. But like I said, I don't think it's something you want to take the rest of your life.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know for how long, but I feel nothing other than I don't feel any side effects whatsoever. Not the ones that you can feel. Maybe some that aren't out there yet.
None yet.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck, pal, and get a new phone. Okay. 567-0560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miramar. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, during Fan Scam 99 there a couple months ago, my wife bought 5 tickets, the best 5 available, and
5 tickets to what?
That was section 234. Well, my friend bought some a couple of weeks later. It was the best seats available then were section 243, which is right by first base. I just don't see how that's really a just doesn't seem fair that when you support the team and you go to that fan scam.
Yeah.
And then weeks later, I bought 5 tickets. My friend bought 19 tickets.
19 tickets.
43.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know that old saying about a fool and his money?
I guess I'm the fool.
Evidently.
Because the tickets I got in section 234, that's the right field corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then
well, take some good binoculars. With all the money you saved on the tickets, you can buy some good binoculars. Good luck to you, sir. I don't care, I don't want to sound indifferent, but I am. I'm not interested in the Marlins, in the baseball games, in people that feel compelled to go there, and for whatever reason, okay? Get a life. Get a life. Spend the money on something worthwhile. One call left on the board, and then I guess that's going to be it. They're so whipped up to a frenzy about what I just got through talking about, like maybe saving their lives. They don't care about that stuff. It's boring. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, what I do when I go through the toll, if I get stuck without change and I got to whip out a dollar bill or something, is I'll go through the change booth and then I'll just tell the lady, look, give me $4 in quarters. So then I have my car stacked with the quarters, and then I don't have to go through the
give you $4 in quarters. What do you think? They're running the First National Bank over there at the change booth?
I give her $5. I give her $5, and I said, can I have the rest in quarters? And she says, fine. And then I have my car stacked. Sure.
She must be the same one that gives me like 5 nickels when I go through because she gives you all the quarters.
Then I got a bunch of quarters, and then the next time I can go through the lane with no people. Listen, real quick. Yesterday was the daylight savings time, and I was all out of whack, and I couldn't fall asleep. I couldn't find a remote control to my TV to put something on to see if I fall asleep. Hit my radio. I turned my radio on. It was on 560.
Yeah.
And it was some hockey show with Jeff Brimmer.
Oh, Brimmer.
On a ping, I went to sleep.
There you go. It works every time. Okay. I'll
Thanks.
pass it along. Thank you. Well, how come these phones all sound so bad today, huh? Maybe it's because of the change in time. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Down to one call again on the board here today. Why don't you do the rest of the show? You had a lot of calls Friday.
I don't feel well.
I don't care. I don't either. I felt great till I started doing the show today, and now look at this again. You do the show. I'll just sit here and read my book. I'll read the Atkins.
Nanner.
I'm serious. I'm trying to save people's lives out here. I'm trying to do a big expose on stuff that they just don't care about because they're brainwashed, as always, by the goddamn people with the white coats on. Those people ought to be taken away by people with white coats, most of them. They ought to be put in straitjackets. Every time I hear about that high suicide rate among doctors, now I'm beginning to understand the reason why. I mean, how do you look yourself in the mirror when you know you're over-medicating and you're like in partnership with all these goddamn pharmaceutical companies peddling all these prescription drugs with these unbelievable side effects? And if you don't believe me, I'm begging you, all you people out there who take prescription drugs, whose doctors have got you hooked on this stuff, go to the bookstore, go to Barnes & Noble, go to Borders, go to your Books A Million, go to your neighborhood bookstore. And you don't have to buy the big, there's all different kinds of little paperback books, big paperback books, the side effects of prescription drugs, the pill book, all these different ones. And just start reading about the side effects. And maybe you're lucky. Maybe you didn't ever have any of them. You're not going to have any of them. But for people like me that have had all these things going on, you start saying to yourself, I wonder if it could be from this and from that. Come to find out, of course it can. Oh, yeah, but the doctor said, great. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You gotta remember, most people consider the doctor as a god.
That's right.
They're intimidated by him.
He wears a uniform, he wears the white coat, and he pretends he knows something.
Well, they wait there an hour and a half in the waiting room. He comes in for 10 minutes, and they pay whatever the hell he wants them to pay.
Right.
It kisses ass. Also,
let me say it again. Doctors who are busy writing lots and lots of prescriptions into our pill pushers, those doctors ought to be put away.
Absolutely. Also on the tolls, my wife's one of these people. She's a professional girl, makes about $100,000 a year, drives a $50,000 Acura. She pulls up. She's looking for the money. She's got her bottled water, her lipstick.
Unbelievable.
Complete. You know what? It is a different personality. She doesn't give a crap. That's what it is.
She doesn't give a crap?
She doesn't give a crap.
What you're saying is she's an inconsiderate bitch.
Absolutely. It's my wife. I love her. But, Lisa, if you're listening, you're an asshole.
You're an inconsiderate bitch. There. Okay, thank you, sir. God bless you. There's an honest guy. He loves her, but she's an inconsiderate bitch, and she's also an asshole, he says. How do you like that? Huh? Oh! Nice. Yeah, they start fumbling through their purse. They're looking, I got a few pennies. I got a few bobby pins. Here's whatever they got in there, a bunch of crap. Nice. I'd like to get home sometime before midnight, sweetheart. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
Hey, you seem to be a little upset about all the doctors down there.
A little bit upset?
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, it's only our lives that they're playing with. I mean, why get upset about that?
Well, I'm going to take the other side of the fence here. I'm not going to say that all doctors do the right thing, but a lot of these drugs that come out are, the money that goes into the research, and they're going to have some side effects, but that should be explained to you by the doctor. And
when's the last time a doctor ever explained to you side effects of a drug? Or let me ask you this. When's the last time, since he gives you a prescription, you go to the pharmacy, and they give you a little bottle, you don't even get the package insert, okay, that comes with the real package that they have in the pharmacy. You don't even get that.
Yeah, you should. I mean, tell everyone, ask for a package insert because that explains everything.
And then when the pharmacy gives you the thing on the bag, if you don't throw it out with the bag, there's a thing on there, and in little tiny print. And maybe if you're lucky, you might remember to read that, but most people don't.
Yeah, it tells you exactly what's wrong and what's not wrong. But I mean, it's not as bad as it seems, and it does cost a lot.
Sir, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's a lot worse than it seems. They're killing people with prescription drugs every day, and when you say it's not as bad as it seems, it's a million times worse than it seems.
I have to disagree. I mean,
you can disagree all you want. There's a massive body of evidence. I didn't just come on the air today and decide to pick a fight with doctors or prescription drugs. I mean, there's a massive body of evidence to prove it.
Well, I know there's a problem because I'd say it's about 20% of the doctors are doing the right thing.
Now, where do you get that number from?
Personal experience. I'm actually a pharmaceutical rep, so
yeah.
You're
a pharmacist. Here's a guy that's totally unbiased. He's peddling this crap. He's a pharmaceutical rep. Let me tell you, sir, any doctor that would prescribe hydrochlorothiazide to somebody who's diabetic and takes oral diabetic medication and is also trying to lose weight, that doctor has no conscience as far as I'm concerned.
You're absolutely right. That is wrong.
Thank you. 26 seconds, and by the way, let me say it again, it wasn't Dr. Mark, and thank God for Dr. Doolittle, who'd rather do little than give you a whole bunch of drugs and kill you with them. Thank God for you, Dr. Mark. God. This guy he didn't have any ass to ride. He's only a pill peddler. He's only part of the conspiracy. Oh, it's overblown. Yeah, blow this.
Wake up with the first team. Joe Rose, Jeff DeForest, and Steve Goldstein.
Distorted, overmodulated spots.
On Sports Radio 560
all of these things on this radio station.
Just tell me what your problem is.
Are you sick of people laughing at you as you try to drag your hefty frame up a flight of stairs? Are you embarrassed as people snicker when you get stuck in the doorway? Are you angered when people cackle as they see you in the movie theater, sitting on the armrest, putting up your crack because you forgot to sit in the seat?
I'll take it from here. Basically, are you sick of people laughing at you? If so, then don't join a gym. Really, if you're about 50 pounds overweight and are sick of being giggled at all day long, then you should sign up for the craze that's sweeping the nation. Kung Fatso, the newest martial art designed for you to use your blubber against smaller people. Once you master Kung Fatso, people will be afraid to laugh at you. And when they're afraid to laugh, soon they will learn to fear you. And once they fear you, you and your other fat friends will take over the world and rule as kings. Or maybe not. But it's worth a shot. Learn Kung Fatso today, and at least learn how to punch skinny punks like this guy. Right in the face.
Okay, it's 11:31 at 560 WQAM. As I'm sitting here in between the breaks, in between all those distorted commercials you're hearing, and I'm reading more and more about from both of these books that I'm reading right now, and it makes your blood boil. And this guy that just called a minute ago, oh yeah, well he's very, very objective. He's only a pill peddler. He's the guy that goes in there and says, hey doc, if you sell enough of this crap, we got trips to Hawaii, we got all kinds of merchandise, whatever you want, okay? Just keep writing the prescriptions. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
I'm not even 40 years old yet, and my cholesterol for the last year and a half has been over 300, and I've been on Pravachol.
Right.
And my doctor turned around and told me, well, that doesn't seem to be working now. This was just last week, and now I'm supposed to pick up something called Lipitor or Lipitrol.
Mm-hmm.
You ever hear of that?
Yeah.
Is that just as bad?
Hey, well, what do I know? Is it just as bad? I said before, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I'm not sitting here setting myself up as I'm going to give you, the side effects of every drug. You got to go out there and buy one of those little PDRs and find out. I don't know.
Well, on top of that, he told me that I'm also now borderline diabetic, and he also gave me something called Paxil because he said that.
What is that?
That's something that's it's like an antidepressant because I was getting over rambunctious, and my temper was getting bad, and everything else.
Yeah.
I think he's turning me into a friggin' schizophrenic.
It sounds to me like he's turning you into a cauldron, a drug cauldron. Have you dieted? Are you overweight?
No, I'm not.
You're not overweight.
No, I'm 5'8", now about 178.
And you're not overweight, 5'8" and 178?
Well, I'm
You
pretty
should weigh
big.
about 140 pounds.
Well, I'm pretty big on top. I play a lot of baseball.
You should
I
weigh
play-
100, max 150 pounds if you're 5'8".
Really?
Yes. I mean, 5'8"?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 5'9", and I'm supposed to weigh 150 pounds.
Wow. I mean, I don't have a belly or anything like that. I'm big boned.
Yeah.
I play a lot of racquetball, a lot of baseball. And
You have a
stuff
big
like
bone? Yeah.
I used to be a wrestler too, so that's another one of my
that's
problems.
yeah. Well, I would find another doctor. That's just my own opinion, okay? I'm not going to give you any ideas about
Mm-hmm.
drugs because I don't know from them, but I would find another doctor.
Okay.
Because if you're just going to keep taking more and more drugs, and of course then you get people that take a whole bunch of drugs, there are interactions between the drugs, which some of your doctors don't bother telling you about, and then you got more problems.
That's what it seems like. He doesn't tell me to do anything all. They go in there like they say. You wait there for an hour and a half, and you got 10 minutes to go by, and you go on the job.
Even if you don't have to lose weight, sometimes changing your diet can help the cholesterol problem.
Yeah.
But find a doctor that's not a pill doctor.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck. 5670560, pound 560. Why is it that every time we ask people, are you overweight, and then they give us a height and a weight that's just totally, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I guess unless you're like Fat Boy or like the Bookster, you don't think you're overweight. Maybe that's why so many people come up to, oh, you're not fat. You're always talking. I'm not fat. I'm a cow. I'm still 40 pounds overweight, 45 pounds over. And based on the way the scale is going, I want to shoot somebody. And I'm reading all of these books, and guess what, Neil? Here's why you can't lose any weight. You could do the Atkins perfect every day for the rest of your life, and you're still going to be a fat cow because these doctors have you on all these damn drugs that are screwing up your metabolism. Thank you, doctors. And by the way, let me say this to you, okay? I know some people, I don't want to mention no names, Rimmer, but some people are very impressed, okay? Because, well, certain institutions, they're the doctors to the athletes, and they're the doctors to this team. And, you know something? Blow it out your ass with that stuff, okay? I'm not impressed. And as I look at the general physical care of certain teams in this town, not to mention anyone in particular, I have to continue wondering about all of that, what the hell it means. The only way I can judge a doctor is if I go to him, and in fact even more than once, like 3 or 4 times as I've done, and if that particular doctor is prescribing me all kinds of pills, and I'm starting to have interactions and all kinds of problems, you know, it's one thing to solve a problem, it's another thing to make problems that weren't there before. When you got your blood sugar under pretty good control and the doctor puts you on a drug that he knows is going to make your blood sugar go up and says, oh, your body will adjust to it, and your body doesn't adjust to it, because he's giving you too high of a dosage, you've got a doctor that's a problem doctor for you. So maybe you're impressed, Rimmer. Maybe some of the other people are impressed with all these big hotsy-totsy institutions. Let them take care of Pavel Bure's knee and let me worry about my health. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Oh, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
In regards to the book on drugs, my wife and I used this prescription drug digest book, and it gives you all the side effects, dosages, and it also even goes down to as far as shows the shape of the pill, the color of the pill, and everything, because sometimes druggists fill these things and give you the wrong medicine. So it's one way you can go home and check and make sure that you've got the correct pill that you're supposed to have.
Right.
But that religiously, when we go to the doctor and get a new prescription, the first thing the wife does before we go to get it filled is check the book and see what we're taking for other things, and is this going to be a side effect that's going to bother us and cause a problem.
See, a lot of these doctors, because, again, they got the white coat on, and therefore you're kind of like, you're the little quisling. You know, you're the patient. They got the coat on. They're the ones that are charging you money for their advice. They got the education. They got the big degree up there on the wall. And so, therefore, they talk to you, some of them, in a very condescending way, as if their word is the bottom line. And just don't question it and go ahead and pop the pills and come back and see them 3 months later if you're still alive.
Yes. If they tell you to start taking this and you ask them, well, is that all right to take with what I'm taking? They look at you like, what the hell's wrong with you? I told you take it. Take it. You know, I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
God bless you, sir. I don't know either. I'm just looking at faxes I'm getting from Dr. Mark. Now, leave it to him to get involved in this. Well, what is this? Can you make out heads or tails of what this is? Of course not. I noticed that in Dr. Mark's thing that he gives to all of his patients, it says, obtain product package inserts from the pharmacist with every new prescription. It's all right in here. and et cetera and so on. It says we practice minimalism. That's the way I like it, Dr. Mark. Like I said, minimalism. Not a whole bunch of pills, not turning your intestines into a cauldron with all these different things interacting and causing all kinds of problems like I've been having. I'm off of the Glynace. I'm off of the Pravachol. I'm off of the, as of today, hydrochlorothiazide. And I check my own blood pressure and my own blood sugar, and I'll be goddamned if I'm going to let some doctor kill me with drugs. And when I read this stuff about Pravachol, how do you like that? This Dr. McCulley, who, by the way, is a highly respected, in fact, he was a highly regarded physician at Harvard and Mass General until his controversial theories on heart disease cost him his research funding and job. At long last, it says his theories are now widely accepted by the medical and scientific community on homocysteine, if I can say that. And the stuff that he writes about these statin drugs, Lostatin and Pravachol and Pravachol, is just, to me, mind-boggling. I kissed the ground that just by accident I found this book. Kiss the ground. Kiss the book. There you go. Kiss it again. Just keep popping those pills. If you're going to live maybe only 5 to 10 years and your your cholesterol is 300 or higher, if you're like on death's door and maybe you aren't going to be around very long anyhow, maybe those are the people who ought to be taking it, he says.
I'm dying over here.
Robin Williams is Patch Adams, the doctor who uses humor as medicine.
What's the news on our little boy?
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, your son has rectal colon cancer, and he's going to be dead soon.
Oh, God, no.
Hey, pull my finger, would you?
What?
Yeah, pull my finger. Hey!
No.
Come on, pull it.
Okay. Okay.
Whoa! How many is medicine? Nanu.
Patch Adams, the doctor with laughs.
You've got AIDS.
Whoa!
Hey, that one killed.
It's 11:44 at 560 WQAM. We got Hank from the stadium. We're getting a big build-up out here today for that big Marlins extravaganza, right?
Hey!
Anybody excited about that? Huh?
No.
Marlins baseball. Marlins and the Mets opening day, pregame 3:30, game time 4 o'clock. Panthers and the Washington Caps. Boy, I bet you have a big crowd there tonight for that one. 7:30 tonight from the Mac Arena. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I've had problems with my triglyceride levels for a few years. Not cholesterol, triglycerides.
A lot of people, including both of these books, The Heart Revolution Doctor, Dr. McCulley, says that high triglycerides is a much greater indication of potential heart problem than cholesterol.
Yes.
Is what he says.
Absolutely. My doctor said that too, but my doctor prescribed Pravachol and prescribed Lopid. And I was taking it for a couple of months, and then I started getting upper right intestinal pain. And
There you go. That's what I just got over with. I mean, brutal, excruciating.
I thought there was something wrong with something in my intestines.
I thought my liver was rotting. I thought I was like doing a Mickey Mantle. I thought and I don't even drink.
Oh boy, I was going, and I'm a hypochondriac to boot, so I thought that I was going to die, you know. So
did you stop taking it?
I stopped taking it, and the pain subsided.
How do you like that?
I went on a diet.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went on a diet. I reduced my like foods like donuts and chocolate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My triglyceride level went down dramatically.
From what to what?
Well, it was over 400, then it went
down.
Yeah, over 400. And then it went down to under 200, and I did it on my own.
Yeah.
And I feel much better, and I don't need the medications. I just stopped the donuts and the chocolate and all that stuff.
I'm going to tell you right now, the Atkins diet is the greatest miracle worker for getting your triglycerides under 100 that I've ever seen in my life.
I don't follow the Atkins diet, but one of the things that I believe in is in fiber. Does Dr. Atkins prescribe a high fiber diet?
No, absolutely not.
Well, then how do you?
Psyllium.
Oh, psyllium.
Psyllium, Consul. Psyllium. No, it's natural. No, seriously, it'll make you regularly, and it'll avoid, because it is a constipating diet. But if you take the psyllium every day, no problem.
I see. I wanted to ask you a question because, your blood sugar is low, your blood pressure is good, you feel good about it.
Right.
And you said that your weight is trickling down.
Right. Because I've been taking medications that are forcing it to make it impossible for me to lose weight.
But do you do any kind of active?
Yes, I've been getting on the treadmill. I've been getting on the exercise bike every day the last 10 days.
Oh, okay.
Because the last 10 days.
Because I wanted to suggest that maybe it's because you lead a very sedimentary lifestyle.
A sedimentary life. Well, I'm trying to get the sediment out of it. Good luck, pal.
All right, Neil.
Keep it up.
Bye-bye.
Too much sediment. That'll do it every time. 5670560. Let's get healthy here, okay? Screw the goddamn pill doctors. Yeah. How do you like that? He had the same damn thing, like right up in here. Remember all last week I kept like squeezing it and holding it and my intestines too? My kishkis?
Thought it might be your appendix for a while.
No, no, that was way down here, which could have been my appendix or my whatever it was. I thought it was like a liver thing. Don't you remember even when Dr. Mark was here? Pravachol and also hydrochlorothiazide. I'm going to tell you, hydrochlorothiazide, if you're taking it right now, good luck to you. It's an old drug. It's a diuretic, and diuretics are not for diabetics. That's what I believe. They're not being no doctor, no expert, just based on all the stuff I've read by people who are experts and know something other than just writing a prescription for a bunch of stupid pills. It makes my blood boil. It makes me pissed off, fired up, angry, psychotic that anybody would write me a prescription for something like that I shouldn't be taking, especially in that kind of dosage. What did Joe bring us today? Anything good?
Those pens you wanted.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Joe Rosoli from Roth Office Supply. There's the salt of the earth for you. And by the way, when you walk by on the other end, you'll see Duff still don't have his new desk in there, which I offered to buy him that new desk. He still don't have a desk in there, okay, because Greg Reed ordered it from Taiwan or somewhere. And those little midgets over there are still busy screwing the legs on it, or just screwing something, maybe each other. Yeah, Duff Lindsay's still sitting at that little, not even the size of a card table. We could get a couple old farts from Cemetery Village in there, and they couldn't play a good game of bridge on that thing. That's how small his card table is in there, his desk. But, of course, being the pussy that he is, he's not going to say anything. God, is he a wuss. He really is. No, we just took a vote in the building, and even Joe Rizzoli, who don't even work here, he held his hand up when we said, who's the biggest pussy in this place? It was no contest. It was Bluff Lindsay, and I'm not bluffing. I thought that Geldy needed that. Before Geldy even gets the transplant, I mean, he's way down the line compared to Bluff. Bluff needs a transplant. He needs a gonad transplant immediately, if not sooner. Christ. Grow it. I don't want to say grow a pair. Grow one. At least start out as a ridgeling with one descended testicle before you grow a pair. Man sits there. If he sat him in a corner like Tom Thumb with a thumber like this, staring at the wall. A program director with his thumb in his puss, he'd sit in there staring at the wall. Okay, Greg, whatever you say, Greg. Pussy, 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 pussy. Christ, butch up a little bit. Coral Springs, hello. Coral Springs. Going once. I don't understand these people today. They wait a long time and then they just crap out. Maybe he's taking too many drugs. Here's Miramar, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Neil, on the Pravachol. My wife was taking Zocor, which was prescribed by the doctor, and she was coming along fine, low cholesterol.
Yes.
Then with the last prescription, I had to send it out of town to a place called Caremark. In fact, I have a local place here, but I have to send it out of town. And they sent a letter to me, a copy of a letter, saying they're going to replace the Zocor with Pravachol, which my wife's doctor agreed to. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, we got the Pravachol in the mail, and my wife took it, and like you said, she got intestinal pain.
How do you like that?
Getting, nausea, and we called up the doctor. He said, Doc, bad so she made out another prescription.
Yeah.
And she wrote on it, must have Zocor. We sent the prescription out again, and sure enough, we got the Zocor, and my wife has no bad reaction. But the Pravachol, you're right. That's why I had to call.
Yeah.
Very bad reaction. She's been taking Zocor for the last 2 years, no problem. This company, they want to get something which is more economical for them, so they replace
something they can rip you off on, man.
Right.
The biggest markup of any product in the world is prescription drugs. Stuff that costs them a fraction of a penny a pill, and they're charging us $1 and $1.50,
right.
90 cents
about
a tablet.
It runs in the store, yeah. Right.
That's right.
But I want to tell you, I try to locate you in the Fort Lauderdale phone directory, and they have a number which is wrong. It rings and
try to locate what?
For WQAM, they have
we can't afford a listing,
Southwest 30th Street address with
we can't afford a listing anymore. We're cutting back. Good luck,
shake them up.
Good luck.
Okay, good luck.
Okay. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Maybe some Viagra, huh, for our program director to butch him up a little bit. Maybe that's what we could use. Here's Margate. Hello.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you brought up this topic because in the
So am I, because I'm sick and tired of being killed by doctors who overprescribe, by pill doctors. Most of my life I've been butchered by pill doctors.
Exactly. Now, in the mid-'70s, I found out the hard way that a lot of psychiatrists were over-medicating their patients. And in this case, it was Thorazine, which had very bad side effects.
Right, absolutely correct, sir.
So what happened, in other words, is that you got to treat a doctor like he's your full partner. You got to make him explain everything to you, and the final analysis, it's your decision. Most people don't do that.
And let me say it again. When you have a doctor and you walk in, you sit and wait in the outer office, and then you walk in and again, and the nurse takes your blood pressure, and he honors you by making a cameo appearance and comes in and gives you a look in about 25 words and a lick and a schmear and writes a prescription and walks out the door and shakes your hand and says, good luck, you'll need it. I mean, that's not my idea of going to a doctor.
And another thing, Neil.
That's not what I'm paying for.
Neil, another thing. When it comes to what you're talking about, like with Transine, I was taking Transine.
I'm ready to start popping some right now.
Exactly, and the drug people, they cornered the market on Transine. They raised it an astronomical amount.
Yeah.
So I had to go to another pill. They don't give a damn about us, and it's something that...
Get off the drugs, sir. That's my best advice to everybody in America. I'm not saying stop taking any drugs, talk to a real doctor, but get off of those drugs. Do something to get off of those drugs. Most people can get off of most of the crap that they're taking. People that have high blood pressure and diabetes because of their weight, most of us can get off of those goddamn drugs. Do it. Hydrochlorothiazide, my big, fat, diabetic ass. That's what I have to say to that. I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, they look at you like you're some kind of like a lemming, like you're some kind of a simpleton. And, of course, we are, because they're the experts. They're the ones that went to all these fancy schmancy medical schools and got those big diplomas and degrees up there on the wall, so it makes them so much smarter than we are. Not. 5670. And, by the way, Dr. Mark, stop wasting all my goddamn fax paper, will you? You're a great guy. You're a minimalist. You're a hell of a good guy. Thank God for you. But stop wasting. I know you don't have to sell me. I'm already sold, okay? He's faxing me and faxing me and faxing me. Frustrated, radio guy. Just to stop wasting our paper. How many trees do they have to chop down to make way for you this morning? Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello?
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I just was put on high blood pressure medicine because I'm 75 pounds overweight. And with this Atkins thing, I mentioned it to my doctor, and the first thing he says is, oh, no, you can't be eating all that fat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Your doctor needs a psychiatrist. Your doctor needs mental help.
Now, for 6 weeks, I've been trying the pill Cardura. I've been walking a little bit on the treadmill, but I work...
Trying the pill for what?
What's that?
Trying the pill for what? What does it do?
Well, the Cardura was supposed to lower my high blood pressure, which it did a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've been walking a little bit to lose weight. So in 8 weeks, I've lost 6 pounds. I mean, there has to be a better way. You know?
And your doctor won't go along with the Atkins, and find a doctor who will.
I got you. Okay.
I can tell from the sound in your voice you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. I mean, any doctor that says to you eating all of that fat obviously doesn't understand that dietary fat doesn't make you fat. There's nothing wrong with dietary fat, and your doctor's a goofball. He's living in the past, in the Stone Age.
Well, I just picked up the book just now.
Yeah.
Because I just got my information from you. I'm in the process of reading it today and
now,
tomorrow.
which book are we talking? Dr. Atkins' New Diet Revolution?
Yes. That's the one.
Go immediately. I mean, you go back and read the whole thing, but go immediately to the part in the book where he talks about that, about dietary fat, okay?
Okay. Now, and the funny thing with the high blood pressure is like, well, because your parents had it, well, we'll call it bastard high blood pressure. We don't know where it's from, but you got to take these pills. And I'm kind of like, there got to be a better way, which, of course, I'm going to...
Well, you'll find out in reading the Atkins book, he says one of the most important things that they do is getting most of his patients off all their blood pressure medication by losing weight.
I'm going to do that. Now,
okay.
one last thing. There was a report on Dateline about the pharmaceutical companies advertising their drugs on TV and stuff. 65% of the doctors are opposed to it because they feel that it gives... They say, well, the people come in and ask for a particular drug without knowing about it.
Right.
Now, it might be true, but I think what they're afraid of is it's a twofold thing. Is people come in and they don't have the knowledge of all the side effects or other things that the drugs can do. On the other hand, I mean, do the doctors really want educated patients?
Of course not.
Yes.
They want sheep.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, find yourself a good doctor and read the book.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Good luck.
Bye.
567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one. Oh, is he going to get back on this Atkins thing? Yes. And I'm going to stop taking all this crap that's interfering with my ability to, extend my life maybe more than 5 more minutes. Isn't that interesting? Already we've had a couple of people call just on a private call. Oh, the abdominal thing and the intestinal and the bloating and the cramps and I'm dying over here. Right. What a surprise. Just a coincidence, huh?
Get the Hoover out the moon, man.
Well, I think the time is right for me to touch my body. One thought there on my body is just giving me a clue. So I gotta look twice and find myself a hideaway. And I know one good hideaway, and that's my bathroom. Oh, I'll find my Playboys and creamy lotion. Put the towel right down on the floor. Oh, I'll put my wrist action in that slow motion. And I pray that no one accidentally opens up the door. Cause I gotta masturbate.
Squirt, squirt.
I gotta masturbate. Yeah, I gotta masturbate, debate. I gotta masturbate, debate.
All right. 1201 at 560 WQAM. I got something, man. We just got in the mail. This is the best. From Richard Halpern in St. Cloud, no less. St. Cloud, Florida. What a horrible place that is. And it's a CD called Pull My Finger, 99 tracks of flatulent sound effects, including 2 revolting party games that you can play in your home stereo. Yeah. So far, I like the James Brown Stains. And the Cheese Dog, that's not too bad. Yeah. 99 of these. How do you like that, huh? Oh, that's beautiful. Kind of adding to our repertoire. Yeah, these out there getting old and stale, so to speak. Goose Gas. Number 2 with a bullet. All right. Just what we needed to spice it up a little bit. Oh. In this otherwise boring place. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think that was live from the back room there. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello. Mobile in West Palm. Another one. 27 minutes, 25 seconds. Long gone. History. And, these are not chopping off either. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Please excuse our phone incompetence here. In fact, we're back to a situation we were way back in the beginning, 15 months ago. They don't disconnect. Nice going, guys. Excellent job, Bell South. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has talked to you about the Provocol. I mean, so far as what I had, I didn't get the pain that you had. I got the real bad joint ache.
Joint, yeah, right.
I mean, like in my shoulders and stuff. I actually thought that I had arthritis. It was so bad.
Sir, let me read something to you, okay? It says, in few, fortunately rare, but in some cases, the statin drugs, which includes Provocol, are responsible for devastating damage to muscles, causing severe weakness throughout the body.
That's what I had.
Does that sound familiar?
I couldn't even pick up. I work at an oil company. I couldn't even pick up a case of oil anymore.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. I couldn't sleep, and I finally, my wife, just by dumb accident, read the paper. What it could cause.
Insert, yeah.
I got off of that stuff quicker than you can crap.
And what happened?
And I feel like a new man.
How do you like that?
And the trichlor does the same thing. Trichlor does the same damn thing.
How high is your cholesterol?
Well,
do you have any idea?
Goes up it varies from 360 to 380.
Ooh.
I mean 390, almost 400.
Woo.
But I've been watching my diet, and I'm trying that now. I will not go back on that Provocol. That had me so full of pain. I used to almost was ready to cry at night. I felt bad.
When you get those kind of side effects of a prescription drug, what it means is that your body is allergic to it. You can't. I mean, it's not going to go away. It's not like, well, I'll try it a little longer and maybe I'll adjust to it. No way. I mean, you're starting to get those bad side effects, so you got to get off it like you did.
Well, people, they have to read the side effects. They have to learn to read what these things can do to you when you get them from the drugstore. And don't be afraid to ask your pharmacist what can happen.
Right.
I paid for it the hard way, and I learned because I went through a lot of excruciating pain, believe me, and it was painful.
Okay, good luck, pal.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
How do you like that? And even if you're too cheap to go and spend $10 or whatever it costs for one of those thick paperbacks in your bookstore that's got all the prescription drugs, the guide to prescription drugs, if you're too cheap, just go in there. They don't care. All these bookstores now, Borders, Barnes & Noble, they got the chairs. You can sit around, lounge around, write down some notes. I mean, how many drugs can you be taking anyway? Just look them up, and you'll say, oh, yeah, maybe. There you go. That's what I've been having. Doesn't mean that everybody who takes those drugs are going to get any of those things. They're certainly not all of those things, but maybe, like all these people that we're hearing from today.
All of these things.
That's right. You know, the days of just trusting the old trusted doctor with a white coat on, those days have got to go down the toilet. You got to start educating yourself. And stop killing yourself with all these drugs so that the Pfizer stock can go up and Eli Lilly can go up and all these other big stock, these pharmaceuticals. See, this is the thing with when you live in a society that is so dollar-driven, in a world that is so money-driven. They don't give a crap about your health or about me or about anybody else. All they care about is peddling crap. Oh, yeah, and then all of a sudden they find out down the road, well, guess what? That wasn't so good after all. What was the one, the Eli Lilly drug that was, they had all those birth defects?
Thalidomide?
Thalidomide. And now, by the way, oh yeah, well, you know something, maybe it wasn't so bad after all. Let's bring it back for an encore. Yeah, I think Encore is going to be making dinners from it in the frozen food department. Thalidomide. So what if your baby does have 6 heads and 28 toes? Big deal, don't complain. You know, could be worse. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Hey, Uncle Neil, what's the deal?
How you doing, sir?
Good. Can we get away from the medical talk?
Anything you want, sir. Anything you like.
I have to give credit with...
Yeah.
That's it. I have to give credit where credit is due, and I give all my credit to you for 2 things. I went to Freeport this weekend.
Yes?
Okay, and just like you always said, Marmy. Went over there for a had to go over there for a little bit of fun, but never again. And you had always said you would never go to the Bahamas. I went through the casino and broke even at the roulette table, but just didn't... the people that were there and the employees and stuff, no thanks.
Yeah, man.
But now, here's something that you probably
The Bahamas is a good place for suckers.
Well, you know, it would cost me $50 to get over there and $20 to get back, and I was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something that you missed in yesterday's Herald. It was on page 16, the sports section, the section that said Sports Roundup, where they've got a little bit about, you know, who signs where or all these other things. FBI investigating a claim of hidden camera videotape showing college wrestlers undressing, showering, and unclothed in weight-in areas at meets, including a national tournament at Northwestern, reported by the Chicago Tribune. Images from the tapes are included in hidden camera pornographic material that is being marketed via the internet and by mail, according to the newspaper.
That's a gay club, you moron.
Well, you were going on about the wrestlers.
Yeah, somebody faxed me that, but the copy of the fax was so bad I couldn't read it. That must have been what it was.
Yeah,
it said something about wrestling with your thing.
Those familiar with the tapes, including officials at Northwestern and Penn, believe the tapes were made using cameras concealed inside gym bags. The FBI is consulting with the U.S. Attorney's Office on whether the tapes can form the basis of a prosecution under laws covering privacy, eavesdropping, and interstate distribution of pornography. So, that was it. I didn't think that you saw it. I didn't fax it over to you. I just didn't know if you had heard about it or not.
Thanks for the good news.
God bless. Cox ahoy.
Okay,
Bye.
yeah. Okay. How do you like that, huh? All these wrestlers out there. I didn't say all wrestlers were, I just said most of them are. What's wrong with that? You fill in the blank. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you feel better about yourself. You're all a bunch of, there you go. Well, we know what you mean. You know, all I said was yeah. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Prescription drugs and the people that they're killing, doctors and all this stuff that they're writing, it's still a biggest scam going on in America today. Biggest scam. And the fact that we had a guy calling in here to try to defend it who's a pill peddler, who's a pill pusher, shame on you, sir. I know we all got to make a living, okay? I hope you make a lot of money and can retire at an early age and stop killing the rest of us with all these pills you're pushing. My favorite of all the side effects you read in those PDRs and all those books, sudden death. That's my favorite one, you know.
Spread 'em and say cheese.
The other night I watched a wrestling match with big smooth men with sweaty cracks. They would try to grab each other's ass, wearing nothing more than a tiny G-strap.
But when they rang the bell and the match was over, I couldn't
help but notice I had a big boner. I wanna be a wrestler. And have a man's crotch wrapped around my mouth. I wanna be a wrestler. And feel his fist pushing inside and out. Alright. So I admit it seems a little gay to stick my hand between another man's legs. But when I pull my hand away, I get to smell my fingers. You know that other than some time to train, you don't need to have much of a brain. As long as in the shower after you work out, you don't mind placing someone's balls in your mouth. They know that white clean can be messy and too smelly. That's why they like to rub that KY on their belly. I wanna be a wrestler, entertaining morons just like you. I wanna be a wrestler, and maybe run for governor too. As long as it attracts a crowd, I don't mind going down, rubbing pinkies in a scissor lock with some clumsy queer.
All right. These are the best. Toadstool. Oh, God. Well, we only got 99 of these. Let's kill a few hours with them, all right? 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile wall. Have we had any calls about the Marlins today?
No.
Good. About the Panthers?
No.
Good. Less said the better. We got both games, though, here on Jockstrap Radio. Any interest at all?
No.
Here's North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm so glad that you got on this prescription drug, and keep on it and don't let up, because what happened to me just fits in perfectly with what you said.
Right.
I was like 200 to 205 for many years, and I got careless, and I ballooned up to 223. The fatter you get, the less you want to exercise. I cut back on that, so I go to the doctor. Cholesterol's 273, the triglyceride 339. So what's his answer? He says, he gets a prescription pad out. We're going to give you medication to lower this. That's all he says. Doesn't give me an alternative. I had to say it, and he's getting ready to write. I said, is there an alternative? I don't like to put anything in my body I don't have to. He says, yes, lose 20 pounds and get back on a good exercise program. I said, that's what I want to do. Forget the drugs. That was early November. Now I'm down to 203. I lost the 20 pounds. Every night I do the treadmill for 5 miles at 4 miles an hour.
Right.
I feel super. And if I'd have listened to him and hadn't asked, he'd do it by the pill.
That's right. That's somebody. These pill doctors. That's their first choice because that's what their business is all about.
And it's all right for him to say that, but he should have at least said, "Now here's the other option."
Right. No. He should have started with the other option first.
See, and
that should always be first.
Yeah, and what people don't understand, like the one caller said, "Oh, I'm on that lowering cholesterol lowering, and it's great, no side effects." If let's say the pill would have done a similar thing, would I have lost the weight and gone on the exercise? No, the pill is doing it. And this way,
but you see, they're what they're doing is they're playing to human nature, and that is, you know as well as I do. Like when the fen crap came out, and people were dying from it. People want a magic pill.
Right.
It's so much easier to take a pill and you wake up tomorrow morning and you weigh 20 pounds less. Take a pill and your blood sugar will come down. Take a pill and your blood pressure will come way down. That's what people like. They don't want to do all of these other things. Right. But the problem is very few doctors bother to take time to explain to them that some of these pills and some of the interactions of these pills have got devastating, maybe even fatal side effects. Maybe not right away, but maybe over a period of time. Or maybe even right away.
I wanted to ask you one quick question on the hydrochlorothiazide.
Yes, I hate it. I wish I never would have heard about that drug.
Well, see, now maybe I'm not taking enough to harm me. I hope not. I take Zestro with the hydrochlorothiazide, 12.5 milligrams of that.
Well, that's the minimum dose.
And they call it Zestoretic. Now, it did take my blood. I'm 120/70 every time I go in now.
Yeah.
So I'm real happy until I heard you say, be careful of the hydrochlorothiazide.
Be careful if you have any problems with it. If it works for you and you don't have any side effects and you don't have to worry, you're not diabetic, obviously, then you don't have to worry about it.
Oh. Well, anyway.
If it's working for you, you'll know. Your body will tell you. If you're having problems like you did with the other one, you'll know.
Yeah. Well, keep up the good work and don't let up on that because it is a terrible thing.
It's butchery, you're right.
People are doing. And the other thing, like I say, when I was up and weight in that, watch TV on the couch and I'd fall asleep. Now I'm raring to go. I'm never tired, and at night I sleep like a baby.
There you go.
5 miles on the. But I would have never done any of that if I'd have taken the pill.
Right. Okay, keep it up.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Oh, yeah, here's the pill. Okay, tomorrow you wake up, look like Robbie Benson, you look like Brad Pitt. You'll wake up tomorrow morning and look just like Ann Bishop, whatever you want to look like. That's the mentality that they're feeding to, that they're appealing to. That's the magic bullet, man. That's what everybody wants. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about the diabetes pills. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. I was taking 2 diabetes pills, glucophage and glucotrol.
Right.
And then last month the doctor told me to take Resolin.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered it from AARP, which is the cheapest that you can buy, and it was $2.
I've read lots of bad things about Resolin, by the way.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I just read about it in the newspaper. $2.80 a pill.
What a bargain.
Yes. So between the 3 pills that the doctor is prescribing for me is $5.88 a day.
And here they're going to put Dr. Jack in jail for helping people die that want to die. In the meantime, these people are making us pay for it to kill us.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Good luck. Yeah, you better do some reading, folks. That's what I'm telling you right now. Don't trust any of them. Any of them. Don't just take their word for it. Use your brain while it's still functioning before it turns to jello. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. God, am I glad I got. And you know, you have to. They have that world's largest bookstore on Edward Street in Toronto. I love going in there. It's humongous. It's gigantic. And no matter what category, what you're looking for, you just browse around and you start looking through some of these things and say, hey, wait a minute, this applies to everything I've been looking for, including all the stuff about ubiquinone, coenzyme 10, which I started taking, and then I got I thought maybe I had an allergic reaction to that, which I did not, because I've been taking it now for 3 days. Tremendously important. I mean, just Atkins is big on it. This guy McCulley is big on it. CoQ10, very expensive, by the way, probably the most expensive supplement you can buy in any store. But God is important stuff. Yeah, start taking natural stuff. Start reading about what Atkins says about vitamins and all the supplementation, and get rid of all these goddamn drugs. Here's a mobile on the alley. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to tell you that I thank you because I went on the Atkins thing a couple of years back, and I was up to about 280. I'm down to about 195, 200 fluctuate. And I will tell you,
you're welcome.
And I will tell you that I started walking. I could hardly walk a mile, and I just finished the Disney World Marathon in January.
Great, excellent.
So I mean, anybody could do it if I could do it.
Okay.
All right.
Keep it up.
Thank you. Bye bye.
See, there you go. You know, I'm glad I'm rereading this because I know, like, gee, you're back on that again? Yes, because it works, okay? It works, goddammit. Look at all the people it saved in this audience. And I'm rereading it, and it just ties into all these other things that I'm going through with the pills and with all the bullcrap about cholesterol and with all of these things. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, when I read it the first time, like a lot of people do, I probably skipped a lot of stuff. You know, I just went to the part about the diet, how do I do it, and what do I eat, and skipped all this other good stuff. Paperback now. How much is this? How much does this cost? $6.99. $7. $7. Instead of, you know, giving some quack doctor hundreds and hundreds of dollars so he can give you a bunch of pills that'll put you in a box. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
I just want to make a comment. I was on a hypertension drug, and it wasn't working, and he puts me on another one. So that wasn't working. So I finally said to him, what's the deal? So he starts saying to me, you drinking any orange juice or grapefruit juice? I'm saying, well, I like a lot of grapefruit juice. He goes, well, that doesn't make it work. Well, how come it wasn't in the pamphlet? He goes, well, we got something from the company, from the manufacturer, but it was not updated in the pamphlet.
Yeah.
Have you heard about what grapefruit or orange juice could help hurt it or not make it work? Or
No, I did not.
Well, please check this out because there's something in the grapefruit juice that does not allow hypertension drugs to work properly. Thank you.
Okay. I'll be diabetic. I can't be doing any fruit juice anyway, so I wouldn't know. Maybe somebody else does. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. It's called Save Your Life Day here on QAM. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello. Mobile in Hialeah. Going once. Going twice. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami. Which I can hear yes.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, this phone, I'm doing okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got a good one for you. How many fans are going to be out there today? More Met fans or Marlins fans of the game?
Let me ask you, why do you ask? Do you think I care?
I know you don't care. I just want to know.
Just like some
What's your opinion?
What's
your opinion?
I don't have an opinion because I don't care. It makes no difference to me. I don't care if 10 people show up. It's of no interest. It's not part of my life.
I say more Met fans than Marlins
Yeah,
fans.
well, go back to New York, okay? Just like the jackass that calls this morning, some young punk calling up the worst team. Well, I'm taking the overs and I'm betting on the Mets, and here's the scores in the next 3. Go back to New York, okay, with your Mets. Go have a great life, okay? Go back with your sports nerds, with your gay sports club, okay, and leave the rest of us alone who are interested in talking about something that has to do with our lives, not how many people do I think are going to be out there. It's a meaningless exercise in crap. Bunch of overpaid, self-indulgent jackasses with allegiance to nobody, including you people. But some of you are you're hooked. It's like an illness, like an addiction. Just rape me, squeeze me, rob me, take my money, and then I can complain about what a bunch of crap it is. Like that stuff I was reading an article this weekend about Evander Holy Molyfield and what he just got his second divorce. I forget how many kids he had by the first wife and how many by the second wife and the 4 or 5 by everybody else's wife, by women that he's not even married to. And guess what? He's a born-again Christian. Oh! All right.
What a joke. What an embarrassment.
How about getting off of the cheesecake addiction? How about eating lean cuisine once in a while? How about sweating to the oldies videos? How about stuffing my fat face and just saying screw it? No, thank you, Jenny Craig. No, thank you, Dexter Trim. No, thank you, Sam Master. No, thank you, Jacqueline. No, thank you, Nordic Track. No, thank you, Slim Fast. Yeah.
Well, you didn't mention Dr. Barton. That's good. Okay, 12:31 at 560 WQAM. We got 600 open lines all of a sudden. That's not bad. We made it to almost 12:30 on a Monday. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Our poll question today, who's got the bigger ass, Alex Fernandez or Sid Fernandez? Here's a mobile in Westchester. Hello. Mobile in Westchester.
Hello?
Yes, sir?
No, it's not a mobile, but...
Well, that's what it says here. I'm just going by what it says.
All right.
Here's a call. It's not a mobile in Westchester.
Okay, 4 years ago, I had to lose 100 pounds because I had to have both my knees replaced.
Yes, sir?
And I just went on a sensible diet and did a lot of exercise and lost it. A year ago, I lost my wife and I gained back 20 pounds, and I have been unable to lose that doing the very things that I did. And my question, I think I heard you say you took Adalat, and I'm having to do that with blood pressure. Could that be the problem?
I have no idea. How would I know?
Oh, I thought maybe you said you'd known that some of them that helped, that you couldn't lose weight with.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to look in one of those books. I don't know. Or talk to a doctor.
Okay.
Because in the Atkins book, he says that some of the cardiovascular drugs, which is what Adalat is, obviously, also interfere with your ability to lose weight, which I did take for a long time. And believe me, I wasn't losing any weight then.
Well, I'm going to check it out.
Check it out.
By the way, the Dow's
Good
up 140.
All right. Good luck.
Bye.
Yeah, Dow's up 140. There's another sucker's game for us all, the Dow and all that stuff. The Dow, by the way, is 30 stocks. See, this is the way they manipulate us. The Dow is 30 stocks. If you got those 30 stocks or some of the certain ones of the tech stocks on the NASDAQ, then, hey, you're rolling in money, okay? Amazon.com, Broadcast.com, eBay, you know the ones. If you don't have those, you're screwed. And they bring all, see, you want to get me started with this stock market thing. Like I've told you before, all these newsletters and even the ones where you spend all of that money and they're supposed to be such experts. They got this long track record and all a bunch of crap. If you watch CNBC, if you can stomach it all day long, and they'll have 30 different people on there, and they'll tell you 30 different things. They're all experts. The Bears and the Bulls, and the Bulls and the Bears. It's going up to 18,000 the Dow. It's going down to 5,000, and it's all a bunch of bull. They don't know. And if they did know, they wouldn't be sitting there telling us. I'll guarantee you that. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, if I just had in the bank the money that I have invested in all of these, the Value Line and this newsletter and Rukeyser and this one, that's all a bunch of bullcrap. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a pig report in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, I just saw a bunch of people pulled over by troopers westbound 595.
By where?
Looks like it's west of the Turnpike, right before you get to the 136. Keep your eyes open.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks for the good news. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's the mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Sid Fernandez had a bigger ass.
Yeah.
And also, I just wanted to let you know in regard to the subject of health, body composition is much more important than almost any other measure. Myself, I'm 5'11". The charts say that I should weigh about 170 pounds. I'm 232 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
But my body fat is 14%.
Yeah.
I'll take any doctor on and outrun him, outlift him, out anything him.
Yeah.
However, my cholesterol had been high, and my doctor put me on this Lipitor stuff.
Right.
I took it for one day and said no. I felt like I had the damn flu.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the right to say no. Doctors don't know everything, as you have pointed out.
How high was your cholesterol?
My cholesterol now?
No, how high was it when he put you on the drug?
Oh, it was 270.
Well, that's high, but it's not like life-threatening 270.
No, my triglycerides, however, were over 500.
Bad. Real bad.
Oh, no doubt bad.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was saying, the composition of your body is more important than anything. And I missed earlier, you were mentioning the book by the doctor who did the pioneering research on homocysteine.
Yeah, it's called The Heart Revolution by Dr. Kilmer McCulley. It's brand new.
Heart Revolution. I'm going to have to get that because I followed his research for years and years, and I've always seen to it that I give blood on a regular basis to keep my homocysteine levels down.
Right.
Because the thing that really drove the point home to me was when I saw a chart on the heart attack rates in premenopausal women compared to men, and then postmenopausal women. Because women premenopause, their heart attack rate is like nothing compared to men. However, once they go through menopause, they catch up to us real quick.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, when doctors do blood tests, why they just don't routinely do tests for the homocysteine levels in your blood. I mean, his research has all been verified. It's widely accepted now, and I just don't understand why they don't test for it.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier, Neil, when you were talking about the drug companies. If there was a big drug company out there with a drug that lowered homocysteine levels, that was out there giving these doctors the trips to Hawaii and Disney World and all that sort of crap for prescribing their drugs, you would be amazed at how quickly they would be testing for homocysteine levels on a routine basis.
Right.
And that is something that people as consumers of health services need to do, is to take control of their health care and demand that when they go in for a regular checkup, as everybody should, that they not only check the level of their cholesterol and triglycerides, but the level of their homocysteine as well. Because there are people who are thin as a rail, Neil, whose cholesterol is 160 and who have triglycerides that are obscenely low, dropping dead from heart disease every day because of the damage done to their arteries by homocysteines and other free radicals and oxidation in their bloodstream as well.
Amen.
So please keep up the good work on this particular subject and the other things that you do talk about.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Okay. I'm reading again from Dr. McCollum's book. It says, even commonly prescribed drugs have been found to cause homocysteine levels to rise. One example is Dilantin, which controls epileptic seizures. This drug antagonizes folic acid and causes homocysteine levels to rise slightly, potentially causing damage to arteries over a period of years. Other anticonvulsant drugs, phenobarbital, primidone, carbamazepine and valproic acid also cause a deficiency of folic acid, and so homocysteine level goes up. And some diuretic drugs, thiazides prescribed to lower blood pressure, cause homocysteine to rise. Let me say that again, okay? Take that hydrochlorothiazide and put it right in the toilet, okay, next to whatever else you find in a bowl. That message for the doctor who prescribed it for me, who was not Dr. Mark, by the way, and who I will not be going to see again anytime soon, like in this lifetime if it lasts very long. Just all of these things that I'm reading. I mean, just a whole series of reasons why I should never have been put on a drug in the first place, much less 50 milligrams, which had my blood pressure down to like 74/48. A little bit on the low side, don't you think, huh?
Uh-huh.
Hey, go home and take it for 3 months, and if you're still alive, maybe you'll come back someday. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line.
La singama manera cubana.
Right. Yeah, it's a hit, or something that sounds like hit. Richard Halpin, from where was it again? Richard Halpin. I wonder if he's related to, what's his name? Remember? Our old sales manager? From St. Cloud, Florida. Wouldn't surprise me. He was always full of hot air. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Before we go any further, there's a couple of pages I want to read here from Dr. McCulley's book. If you're not interested in this, by the way, too bad. Go out and check out the Mets fans and the Marlins fans, okay? Go out and sniff a jockstrap. We're talking about your life and death here. We're talking about quack doctors and quack pill pushers. So anyway, Dr. McCulley says in the heading on this, the lowdown on statin, cholesterol-lowering drugs. He says, we've all seen the ads in newspapers and on TV, or perhaps you or someone you know is taking cholesterol-lowering drugs. These drugs would seem to be the perfect way to prevent or cure heart disease, assuming it was caused only by high cholesterol. Within the past few years, these statin drugs, lovastatin, pravastatin, simvastatin, and fluvastatin, boy, that sounds like what I just played, have become enormously popular. They work by decreasing the production of cholesterol by the liver. But again, I want to make it clear, he says, that cholesterol is not the primary cause of heart disease. It only exacerbates the situation once the damage has been done by homocysteine. Lowering cholesterol can help if you already have heart disease, but because these drugs lower LDL, they do tend to decrease the risk of heart disease for those in high-risk groups. LDL carries homocysteine to artery walls where plaques are produced. In lowering LDL and keeping homocysteine away from arteries, statin drugs can prevent an already bad situation from getting any worse. But there are some very serious major complications associated with these drugs that you'll never hear about in the ads or read in the fine print. First of all, they decrease the production of ubiquinone, which is coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, which can weaken the heart muscle and make it more likely to fail. Within the past decade, the use of statin drugs has greatly increased. While the deaths from heart disease and heart attack have declined, the incidence of death from heart failure has increased in the past 15 years. We're not sure if the increase in these drugs is directly related to the increase in deaths due to heart failure, but this certainly warrants more scrutiny. Coenzyme Q10, made in the body, derived from meats and nuts and available in supplement form at health food stores, should definitely be taken by anyone on statin drugs to make sure the heart is not affected in this way. Secondly, statins can cause severe side effects. Many patients taking statin drugs have evidence of liver toxicity and gastrointestinal side effects such as bloating and diarrhea. Liver toxicity causes abnormal liver function and may cause jaundice in some extreme cases. In a few, fortunately rare cases, like the guy called before, the statin drugs are responsible for devastating damage to muscles, causing severe weakness throughout the body. The most alarming news is that all the statin drugs have been proven to cause cancer in laboratory animals. How do you like that?
All right.
There is a very real risk of cancer in people using these drugs as well. For this reason, experts have recommended that the statin, now again, this is so goddamn important. For this reason, experts have recommended that the statin drugs be used only in people with a short life expectancy, 5 to 10 years. However, the proponents of statin drug therapy and certain pharmaceutical companies have suggested prescribing these toxic drugs to obese children who are at risk of developing heart disease in adulthood because the dangers of statin drugs, I believe it's unacceptable to prescribe them to children. He says, I recommend that these potent drugs should be used only if you have very high cholesterol levels, over 300, which I've never had, and reduced life expectancy because of heart disease, which I've never had yet. Isn't it easier just to eat, right? Maybe take a daily B6, B12, and folic acid, he asks Dr. McCulley in the book The Heart Revolution. How do you like that? Fakers in white coats, butchers, murderers, baby. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Oh, good afternoon.
Good evening. Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, guy, here I got a stupid person's story, and also Sid Fernandez and Alex Fernandez. They're the same person.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Whatever. Go pump some more. 567-0560 pound 560 on the mobile one line. Oh, I knew he'd be here. He already used up all my fax paper.
No, I didn't ask to talk to you. He's so fast. I didn't even get a chance.
He knows you want to be on. You're a ham bone. You want to be on. This is a good day for you to be on. And by the way, when I come next week, I want the blood test for my homocysteine. Why have we never done that before?
Because it's a secondary risk factor, and your primary risk factors are so significant that the secondary risk factors.
Yeah, but you say they're so. My blood pressure is excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
My blood sugar right now is excellent. Right.
Well, you've been measuring it.
My triglycerides, even in that last test, not bad. It was 103, right. And I guarantee you now, 3 or 4 weeks later, they're even better. They're under 100.
There are. I'm not going to get didactic on you, but there's the 5 primary risk factors.
Start using those big words.
Yeah,
now.
I know, more than 3 syllables. There's the primary risk factors are well established. Diabetes, smoking, hypertension. But the worst of all of them is the family history. The family history sets your genetic clock for heart disease for all intents and purposes. And I'm not going to get into the debate about the statins, but let's just say that the straightforward rules that are accepted by the cardiologists, whether or not you believe they're biased by the pharmaceutical companies doesn't really matter, but there are standards that are established, have to do with LDL levels that are like 130 for normal people and 100 for people who've had arterial, what do we call it, arterial episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And you've already had a stroke.
Yeah.
So you really ideally ought to have your LDL below 100.
Right.
But these are all things that take time. I mean, these aren't like, I remember an old lady called me up and said, I almost had a stroke because of you. You let my cholesterol go to 400.
But you're not saying I should still be taking the Pravachol.
Oh, no.
I will tell you right now, I will never take it
under
any
not at all.
circumstances.
See,
and you were not the one that put me on it in the first place.
I know. Sometimes I'm cringing every now and then because his name and my name are in the same sentence. But I
haven't mentioned his name for obvious reasons.
Okay, but I mean, you did clarify it wasn't me.
Yes.
And the reason
I already said you're the good guy. This is the good guy, Dr. Mark. This is the good doctor, as opposed to some of these other people.
This is why I didn't want to go on the air.
Sure, you did.
No, I really didn't. You've been repping for me so much today. It's almost time to give up my name and address because you've resisted that for so long.
No, I haven't. I've never resisted that.
No. I mean, you were smart about it. You said, given the nature of my audience, if I give out your name, you'll be bombarded with.
I have already said that everybody in this audience who wants to do the Atkins diet, for example, since you do it and you're on it and you do great on it and you understand it,
I'm from 38 down to 34 pants on.
Great. Yeah. Then they ought to be coming to you. If they want a doctor who really knows and believes in the Atkins diet, they ought to go to Dr. Mark Laporta at the Gateway Medical Center in Miami Beach.
Now, the other reason I'm calling.
Happy now?
I told you about. Yeah, thank you. I told you. Well,
I'm serious. I mean, most of these people, like the guy you've heard some of these people call, they go to their doctor and they even mention the Atkins diet, and the doctor laughs them out of the office. Like, are you crazy? I got all these pills you ought to be taking instead.
There's a phenomenon, and this is really why I called. There's a phenomenon of the location of the school that you go to, the individual professor, and the year that you go to medical school. And remember, there's a lot of doctors, and I don't know the guy at Cleveland Clinic, but there's a lot of doctors, even at those so-called high-power clinics, that really run like a business. It's a factory.
Yeah.
You come in with a problem, they treat the problem, and then maybe you get lucky and you get some kind of personal communication later on. And that's one of the big failings with healthcare today is people don't. Like I faxed you, I'm sorry for 6 pages, but some of that stuff, communication, cooperation, participation. If you and the doctor together, and you're doing the reading, you're supposed to find out about these
But
things.
how come I'm finding out by accident, rereading the Atkins book and then reading this McCulley book about hydrochlorothiazide increases homocysteine, and also being a diuretic interferes with your ability to lose weight, and of course makes your blood sugar go up. Just what I needed, like a hole in the head.
We knew as soon as you went on it that your sugar went up, and he warned you about that. But I mean.
But he also said your body will adjust to it, whatever that means. And your body doesn't adjust to it, especially at levels of 50 milligrams of that stuff, which I will not take again.
I know this is chancy for one doctor to say this, but I thought the dosage was excessive too, and that's why we cut you way back. See, some people take. I always take the start low, go slow approach. You got to figure out what. The other reason I fact you is because my papers all say wellness emphasized. You got to find out what the person's strengths are and use them, not defeat the body. Every pill is poison. Every single pill has a side effect, and there's some philosophical rule called like unintended. What the heck's it called? Unintended effect. It's something that no matter how smart you think there are, nature will defeat how smart you think you are. And the body's so complicated that you just have to be willing to deal with the uncertainty, but you have to set it up. To say you'll adjust to it, he didn't know you. Because you don't adjust to anything. You give it one day.
What do you mean he doesn't know me? I've been there several times. He
doesn't know you. I'm telling you, I know that whenever we do something that we have to watch, that I know I'm going to hear from you.
But I mean, when you've been working that hard to get your blood sugar down, which to me is like life and death,
right.
Like I don't want any legs chopped off. I'm not interested in making my little dog into a seeing eye dog. I'm not interested in kidney failure, all of these other exciting things. I mean, that's extraordinarily important to me. And to give me something that's good, when there are all the other choices for blood pressure, which my blood pressure isn't a problem now anyway, I object vehemently to it.
I would like to say that I'd like to know what his rationale was for that, other than that's what we do, because hydrochlorothiazide is a very good geriatric drug, but I don't think you quite qualify yet.
I'm getting there, though.
Are you getting your AARP invitation?
Yeah, in the mail all the time, every day.
Lastly,
on the front of the envelope it says, "Hey, you old fart, how about it?"
You've been able to educate people to pay attention to this sort of thing, and even including get the package insert, read up on your stuff. I don't know how other doctors feel, but I like a bit of a challenge.
But you know something even more important to me than the package insert, because most people can read it and it's just a list of things.
Right.
But if they go to their bookstore and they'll buy one of those little they're thick paperback books. Right. You know the one, the Guide to Prescription Drugs.
Yeah, but
and they'll not only give you the listing of the side effects, but they'll also tell you all of this other stuff about the drugs that they have bad interactions with. I mean, there's just tremendous information in those books.
Well, the package insert, you're right about that. The package insert is supposed to have all that stuff too. And in fact,
and who can read it? It's written purposely so small that you have to have a magnifying glass to read it.
Forgive me. I don't mean the FDA approved package insert, because you're right. That's so much.
It's a joke.
Yeah, and the problem with a lot of information in healthcare is that the patient doesn't have the context. If you read something that can happen at the 1% level, and you don't know that 1% really means 1%, and you start getting a side effect, you start to think it's the 1% side effect right away. And those are really, they're 1%. It's few and far between. I'm talking about the pharmacies are mandated by Florida law to give you a sheet that's layperson, sorry for that expression, legible, and it's supposed to be one page of basic information on the drugs that you buy, including side effects, drug interaction, how often you use it, with or without food, that sort of thing. And it's supposed to be as simple and easy to read as those booklets that you're talking about. So that's why I tell patients to pick up that information with every new prescription, because they're going to think of something that applies to them that's deep in their lives or deep in their past or something that they notice at home or the height of their chair or whatever that I can't possibly know about because I'm not with them for 24 hours.
I tell you, I'd rather go back on the Adalat than take hydrochlorothiazide.
Well, see, the reason that I was kind of smiling as you're going through this whole thing is because you made the decision to cut down the dose, and I certainly concurred with that. And then last week when we spoke, you said you were probably just going to get onto one medication instead of all of these things.
Right.
I think that'll work just fine.
Yeah.
One other thing, I told you the other day, you've been educating your audience is what, 400,000 people or something like that?
10 billion people.
Okay, 10 billion people.
About 50 people.
And if you just alert them to these thoughts, the way you're supposed to think about the approach to medicine is not it's supposed to be a knee-jerk reflex. What I told you the other week, I sent in my application. It was a 6-page what I did on my summer vacation last year for the directorship for the Center for Primary Care Research in Washington. I want to change the way these things happen at a federal level, to let doctors and patients know that we've been running by the seat of our pants. And that guy who said only 20% of what doctors do.
Oh, that was a pill pusher.
No, wait. He was right about that.
Yeah.
He was. The fact
but
is,
he still has no credibility.
He blew it as soon as he told us what his job was, because we know who's repping him and who he's representing. But the fact is that only 20% of what doctors do is valid science, repeatedly demonstrated and concurred by the consensus of doctors. 80% of what we do is greed, superstition, tradition, seat of the pants, and baloney.
Yes.
80%.
Yeah, I believe you. You don't have to sell me.
Well, and that's. I mean, I know I'm not asking for it to be elected, but that's why I want to go to Washington. I want to change that.
You got my vote.
Thank you.
See you next Monday, Mark.
Right, bye.
Thanks.
To 1 to 2 hours. One night, in need of a screw, my loins did ache, my balls were blue, and I hooked up and thought, what a butt ugly girl. I see thighs of cheese and tasty rice, a face a mosquito would dare not bite, and I think to myself, what a butt ugly girl. By now I've drank a lot, and I'm feeling pretty high. I've got to find a date, 'cause lately it's been dry. I reach out with my hand, saying, how do you do? Really meaning you'll have to do. So that's the last time I get that bum. I wanted to ask Lieutenant Reno's her mom. Now I'm sober, I think. What a butt ugly girl.
Yes.
Yeah, I think to myself, what a butt ugly girl.
103 at 560 WQAM. Anybody going to be at that hockey game tonight?
No.
We'll be there. Good bells on, baby. I'll be there. Watching the Panthers and the Washington Capitals, too desperate to go in nowhere teams. But hey, it's our team, baby, whether we like it or not. Yeah, we got the playoffs coming up now. I say we. I'm not talking about the Panthers, but nevertheless, hockey fans, we got the playoffs coming up very soon. That's the exciting time of the year. And these other silly people are worried about baseball. Yeah, we're supposed to forget, well, Wayne is gone and all that other stuff is gone. And we just kind of cleared the deck, a new start, a new beginning. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And we're supposed to be, am I into it?
No.
Not in the least. Playoff time, baby. You can smell the hockey playoff fever in the air. Not here, but other places I've been recently. You can smell it. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, great show, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Somebody, like I'm 53. I worked out all my life. I eat what I want to eat. Exercise to me is the key.
Yeah.
A lot of these people go books, and they don't exercise. As far as prescriptions, if you take some of these prescriptions together, they'll kill you. Prescriptions are terrible. Simple, basic exercise will help a lot of people, a lot of problems.
Yeah, that's true. Some.
How come they won't do it, though?
Not all, because we're lazy.
Well, if we're lazy at that,
we're not all as perfect as you are. I mean, we're working on it.
But don't people looking for the quick fix?
That's what I said. People want a pill for everything. That's right. Let me ask you, if you could have taken a pill instead of doing all that exercise, if you could have taken a pill and accomplished the same thing, wouldn't you have done it?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, well, think about it. Fine. He's got to think about it. Okay. 5, 6, it'll be like my asking, Julia Child. If you could have, snapped your fingers and made that great chocolate mousse or whatever you just made, wouldn't you rather done that than go through all that work and mix and mess, huh? I'll think about it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What's to think, pal? Here's West Palm Beach. Hello. West Palm Beach. Do you hear something or what?
This is a goofball. He's been calling and hanging up
great.
all day long.
Oh, West Palm. Well, why do you keep putting them on hold then? Just don't put any more West Palm people. Who needs them anyway? Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Can I talk to you a couple issues, if you don't mind?
Couple issues?
Couple issues.
Yeah.
The first one is, and it's very simple concerning.
Oh, this must be, is this a chronic?
Can we get...
Yeah, uh-huh. No, we can't. See, let me say it again. As soon as you said that, because you're a dead giveaway, because I wasn't really paying that much attention, as soon as you say that, I know it's that asshole Andy from Hollywood. No, we can't. I mean, the people in the audience probably are ready to call, like, the paramedics, the loony bin, somebody to come and take you away. What words do I need to speak to convey to you? I can't stand you. We can't talk issues. We can't talk trash. We can't talk period. Just put the period at the end of the word talk. You and I, it ain't going to happen. We're not going to talk. We're not going to converse. We aren't going to have anything to do with each other. You make me nauseous. You're a whining simpleton is what you are. Go to practice. Go out there, squeeze yourself a couple of times, and stay away from me. And the audience agrees, by the way.
Yes.
I took a poll just now, and everybody raised their hand and said, get rid of him, because
he's an asshole.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's up?
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. I've been listening for about 6 months, and it's the first time I call.
Yeah, all right. 567-0560, pound 560. There's another one. Always prefaces it with a dead giveaway, like putting up a big billboard there, right. Here's the lady in Sunrise. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Okay.
Actually,
it must be the chronic 1 to 2 hour today.
I'm sorry.
I said, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I haven't called before, and I'm really interested in what you're discussing, but I have something totally irrelevant to what you're discussing. Yeah. Actually, I sing the national anthem for the Florida Panthers lately, and you guys played it on the air.
I didn't play
on Saturday night. Well,
no,
your station.
Yeah.
Yeah, your station did.
You've been singing it?
Yeah.
Is this your Beth Cohen?
No, this is Jill. Jill Miner.
Cohen? Jill what?
Jill Miner.
Jill Miner?
Yeah.
I thought Beth.
No,
Cohen.
Beth is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which game did you sing it at? Because the only game I missed was the Ottawa game.
Actually, Ottawa game was my 4th game. I've done 4 games lately.
Okay.
Anyway, I just thought it was really nice that you guys played it on the air. I didn't know you did that. It sounded really cool.
Uh-huh.
I had friends were calling me.
Are you going to be singing tonight?
No, I'm not.
Who's going to be singing tonight?
I think it might be Sean Ebron.
Well, what happened to Aaron Burgell? I mean, with all due respect to you, I'm sure you do a wonderful job.
He's got a wonderful voice, but I think that the fans were just ready for a change. I'm not sure. I can't speak for them.
The fans wanted a change?
They were getting a lot of feedback about that, yeah.
About what? They don't like Aaron Burgell?
Oh, no, they just were ready for a change. They were just tired of it being sung, I think the same old way, just a little bit different, that's all. I mean, no disrespect to him.
The same old way?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, that would be like saying we don't want to hear Kate Smith anymore sing "God Bless America," which she
of course, and she's fabulous.
Right. Well, she was.
And not to take anything away from Aaron Burgell.
Okay.
I'm
just a little confused by getting mixed signals there about what you're saying. The fans were ready for a change.
That's what they were telling me.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I mean, again, I'm sure you've done a fine job because I hear it all the time. I'm there at the old Ottawa game. I wasn't there; I was out of town, but I'm there every night. Now, what are you going to be singing this week? Wednesday, Boston game?
Possibly, if she hasn't let me know the schedule yet. They actually don't decide that far.
How do they decide?
I'm not sure. Randomly, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe the fan response. I'm not sure.
Right. Now, do you get paid to do that?
Actually, no.
You don't get paid to do
it? But it's so much fun. The people, I gotta say,
the
most important thing for me to say is that the people at the Florida Panthers Hockey Club are the most sincere, nice people I've ever had to work with.
Well, sure, they're sincere about the national anthem. They don't pay any attention to the game, but they're big on the national anthem.
Of course they are.
Right.
But they're just really nice people there.
There are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, keep up your great work.
Thank you.
And maybe we'll play it again.
Okay.
Okay, see.
Thanks.
Or maybe we'll play Aaron Burgell. Oh, I'm sorry. Is she gone? I like Aaron Burgell. I mean, with all due respect to her, she sounds like a nice young lady. I'm sure she does a fine job. I like Aaron Burgell. I didn't know that there was a problem. Is there a problem with him?
No.
I don't think so. I love Aaron Burgell.
No.
He did mess up O Canada the one time, but then he got redeemed the next time the Leafs came in. He got the words right. I love Aaron Burgell. I think it's good to have continuity there, don't you? They used to have that. What was his name? Rene Rancourt always used to sing the national anthem in Boston with the Bruins. I don't know if he still does or if he's dead or what. And they used to have a guy in Montreal used to do it all the time, who I think is dead. And Kate Smith in Philadelphia, and she's dead, and she's still singing "God Bless America." How do you like that? I happen to like. I mean, I wasn't even going to get on this, but since she called and spurred me on, I like Andre Burgell, whatever his name is. I think he's great. They had a dark-complected guy. They had a young black guy that sang it one night here a couple of weeks ago. He was tremendous. He was sensational. Now, this young lady that just called, don't stick in my mind. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That Beth Cohen or whatever her name was, she's got that kind of Jewish nose that detracts. I mean, she does a nice job, but you keep looking at that nose, you know. Hollywood Seminole Gaming was the country's first high-stakes bingo casino. They've given away over $1 billion since they opened 20 years ago. In fact, March 29th, just a short time ago, a 34-year-old man from Davie won over $327,000, and other winners have also walked away with six-figure jackpots. You could be the next big winner. Who do you like better, Aaron Vergel at the arena, or who do you like? The national anthem, Joe. He don't care. He never gets there that early anyway.
MONDAYSUCKS. Who's the vicious rodent and he spreads a bag of disease? MICKEYRADT. He's the vermin on the prowl to fight at you and me. MICKEYRADT. Nicky Rat. I'll steal your cheese. Nicky Rat. And gnaw your knees. He'll forever hold your wallet high, high, high. Who's the varmint in your house? You call an SOB. MICKEYRADT.
115 at 560 WQAM. By the way, I think the best thing for the national anthem is just skip it. Why do we sing the national anthem at ball games? Anybody ever figured that out yet?
No.
Huh? Seriously, why do we do that? What's the point?
Fascist.
Why do they play the national anthem at the racetrack? That to me has always been very disturbing. What is that all about? Is the government involved with gambling? I mean, besides taking a chunk of it for out tax money.
No.
I mean, what was that all about? To stand for the national anthem at a racetrack? I mean, you know, I have no problem with the national anthem. It's kind of a weak one, by the way. I like "Oh Canada" much, much better. And many other national anthems are far superior songs. But so as a song, it really sucks. But what's the point? What does it accomplish? Huh? Is it supposed to get us pissed off and fired up for the game? Is that, hey, yeah? And really what most people are applauding for is that it's over with. They're not applauding because they're enthusiastic. Like, oh, finally, get it over. Here you go. Let's sit down and have a beer. Hell with that. So speaking of having something, how about some lunch from Chuck's today? Huh? How about some of my salad? I was just about to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze on the air like some kind of a slob. Oh, I'm sorry. Some kind of a slob. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much, by the way, Richard, whatever your name was. What's his name?
Halpern.
I'm trying to forget that name. Wait a minute. Rick? Is his name Rick Halpern? Could it be the same Rick Halpern that was the sales manager?
No, that was...
What?
Alpern. No H.
Yeah, well, maybe he just put the H in front of it.
Maybe he dropped it to hide his tracks.
To cover it up. Yeah. What, didn't we always call him Halpo? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. He wasn't the one that hired Fat Boy, was he? Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hey, Neil, been out of town for a while. Just got back. I'm really shocked to hear about Sonny.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up listening to Sonny Fox.
Sonny Fox?
Yeah, he died.
Sonny Hirsch.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Asshole. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT. Boy, that must have been the guy from the morning show over there in Fort Myers. You know, if you're going to spend the money to make a call and think that it's going to be humorous and that's your best material, here's Hollywood. Hello.
Dale, God.
Yes, sir.
One point I'd like to make here. The relationship that you have with your doctor is a great relationship.
Yes.
You should have the same relationship with your pharmacist.
How do you do that?
Well, it's extremely easy. All you do is, wherever you take your prescriptions, you meet your pharmacist, you meet the manager, you talk to him.
Yeah, right. You meet the pharmacist, you meet the manager. What do you do? Go out and have tea with them? What are you talking about?
No. You have to have a relationship with your pharmacist as far as the medication.
How do you do that when a pharmacist is behind a counter with three
I
or
don't
four crazy
know.
young women running around like bumblebees in heat, and he's got 7,000 prescriptions lined up? I'm going to have a relationship with this guy?
Then you go see my pharmacist.
And he's not my type anyway, my pharmacist. He's a good guy, but he's not my type.
Well, listen to me.
He's a little
bit
too like the loafers for me.
It's that they know exactly what medications you're taking. Many people.
Well, they have that in the computer.
Not
if you're a regular customer.
If you're like most of the old yentas down here, they'll buy 2 at Walgreens, 2 at Publix, 2 at.
Well, I don't do that.
Eckerd.
I don't. That's why I don't do that.
Well, you know that, and I know that, but unfortunately, a lot of your listeners out there don't know this.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, but I think if the average schmuck out there is going to depend on their pharmacist to give them guidance as to what the side effects of the drugs are going to be and what the interactions they're going to have with the other drugs, that we can all go to their funeral together.
Oh, no, sir. If you have the proper pharmacist, you will not have a problem at all. Your pharmacist will punch you up on the
I'm not going to go to Hollywood to get my prescriptions filled.
Well, you have to build a relationship with what you have with where you go.
How do I do that? Do I take him out for a date? I mean, he is a little,
Well, I mean, give it a shot. Whatever works.
I don't want to take him out on a date.
No,
I want to take him out for a cup of coffee.
But you have to get to know who's doing your scripts.
Now, see, by my other Walgreens down there on Broward Boulevard, I used to know Bruce, nice Jewish boy.
Right.
He's not there anymore. See, that's the problem. See, you're under the illusion that, like, when you go into a place, that these people stay there for a long time. Not in this town, they don't. They're here today and gone tomorrow.
Well, my pharmacist.
But you're lucky. I mean, you got the one guy evidently in the whole town that's great, and I'm not going to schlep to Hollywood to get my prescriptions filled.
No
he may be the best pharmacist that was ever born. I'm delighted for you.
But it's important as far as your medical health goes,
right?
And the drugs that you do take.
But I think if you're a doctor, if you have a good relationship with your doctor and you talk, that should be the first place, and he's not going to put you on any kind of stuff that you're going to have a problem with.
Sir, your doctor is a great guy, but does he know what he prescribed to you 2 years ago?
Yes, he does, because he's got it all. He's got it all in the file. Of course,
a good doctor would, but unfortunately, most doctors.
Most doctors don't have your medical chart. Are you kidding me? They don't have the stuff written down.
They prescribed for you 2 years ago.
How could they not? How could they not?
Trust me, they don't. They don't. Your pharmacist knows immediately.
Okay. Okay. Have a great day and say hi to your pharmacist. Obviously, they have a very tight relationship, real tight. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. You get the feeling they have a pretty tight relationship. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad for him. I'm delighted, and I understand what he's saying, but it's just not going to happen for most of us. We're not going to go into a drugstore and shake hands with a manager and a pharmacist and the whole staff there, the ganze Mishpacha behind the counter, and say, hey, they got 700 old farts lined up there. They want their crap,
You could take him out to lunch.
I don't want to take him out to lunch. How do I take him out to lunch? I'm working here. I'm not going to take him out to lunch. Maybe he's got some phone numbers. I don't know. Here's Jensen Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm very excited today.
About?
The Marlins are tied for first place.
Right, there you go. Mark it down in your calendar.
The Panthers.
But you better mark it down real fast because...
I'm marking it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too.
You know who that is, don't you? The other asshole. Took me a few seconds. Yeah, they must be on the phone with each other doing little phone sex. Little phone circle jerk. Andy from Hollywood and Greg from Boynton Beach, who's now in Jensen Beach, alleged. They're scrubbing it with like Brillo pads. 567-0560. See, I mean, maybe you think that this is really we sure got. I don't care. It just makes you look like what everybody in the world knows.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, including that Andy character. Why his girlfriend, who seems very nice, why she keeps hanging out with him, I have no idea. I haven't got a clue. Maybe someday she'll get one. Boy, this fax machine is just rattling and smoking that. Wow. God. What a day this has been back here. Oh, this is to Corey Sabin. We don't take the sports stuff here in this fax machine, okay? All you people that keep faxing stuff, they got their own fax machine. And we like Corey. He's a good guy. But no way. Oh, isn't that incredible?
Want to give the right number out?
No, they're not listening. If they were listening, they'd know that this isn't the place for the sports faxes. This isn't a sports fag show. This is just a regular fag show. This is not a sports fag show, okay? So send your sports fag faxes to the sports fags on their sports fag machine. Not ours. We already got my doctor wasting all our fax paper, goddammit. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Happy Pesach.
And back to you.
The girl that called you, Jill Miner, I saw her twice at the game. You weren't there at the Ottawa game.
No.
Because I saw your seat was empty.
Right.
She sang great. She has a great voice. She sang "Old Canada" great. She sang the national anthem great. She has a great body, by the way.
Oh,
if I wasn't married, I'd ask her out.
Uh-huh.
But that's a different story. Anyway, the other guy.
Well, what about Aaron Burgell?
He was very good, but he was getting old. That next guy that had the color fellow you mentioned.
He was good.
I think he was great.
He was great.
This girl has a super voice. So
But
I enjoyed her a lot.
How can you say Aaron Burgell was getting old? Hasn't he been doing it for a hell of a long time now for us?
I think they
was
were
in the Miami
losing. I think
Arena.
they were losing too many games. I think that was the problem.
I got news for you. It hasn't helped.
That's true.
If-
And
if-
you didn't miss that game. There was nothing you missed there either.
And by the way, how come I'm the only person in North America, beside the people on CBC, they replayed it 10 times, that showed that Radek Dvorak was 5 feet offside on that alleged goal he got in the second period and nobody ever called it?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh, my God. Mellenby brings the
puck.
puck over the Ottawa blue line, and here's Dvorak putting on the brakes trying to stop. He's already at least 2-3 feet over the blue line, and play goes right on. Mellenby gives it back to Dvorak, who's in there all along. He sticks it in the net. I mean, what kind of a goal was that?
The referee had some rachmanis on us.
No,
because
you see,
he was killing us otherwise.
What we need, we have to have 80 linesmen and 20 referees, okay? Then maybe they can get a call right among the whole bunch of them.
That's true. Take care.
And back to you. So there's a guy that liked you, Jill. Okay, let's hear. There's one for Jill. I like your Brugel. Fine. I thought he's got that big. He's an opera singer, for Christ's sakes. But not good enough. He doesn't have as good of an ass as her, I guess. Although he's got breasts that are probably as large as, I don't know. One of the young ladies they had do it. She had very, very, very tiny breasts. I'm sure Erin's got much larger breasts than she has. Here's a mobile in Key Largo. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Anthony. I'm a friend of Jeff Cohen's. I'm the guy that he worked for in a restaurant years ago.
Yes?
I got a joint down in Key Largo now, Anthony.
Yeah, he's got a joint right now. He's working on it, I think.
No, listen.
Yeah.
I'm doing this chelation.
Yes?
I'm doing this chelation therapy.
Yes, sir?
Have you heard about it?
Of course.
What do you think?
Dr. Atkins is very big on it, by the way. They do it in the Atkins Clinic.
I'm doing it, and it's unbelievable.
Right.
Just want to tell your listeners, it really
Good stuff.
works.
That's right.
My cholesterol was, my triglycerides were 5. My cholesterol was over 4. Both of them now are down to 200. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
And I feel real good,
Keep
too.
it up, Anthony.
Take care.
That's what Jeff Cohen says. Keep it up.
Tell, come down and see us in Key Largo someday.
All right.
Take it easy.
See ya. Okay, there's a friend of Jeff Cohen's. Kind of sounded like it. 5670560. Oh, by the way, that pizza last weekend, that matzo pizza and matzo lasagna. Wow, that was good stuff.
Esta es el show de la mañana con Hugh Rogers. Esta es su cerebro. ¿Tienes preguntas?
Y2K, Windows die, and all computers go offline. Y2K, Windows die, everybody's gonna die.
Boy!
People will panic with murder and havoc. I read that in a magazine, in a comic book store. If you believe it's the end of the world and see the market crashing again, for the millennium's a long time. Start jumping away.
By the way, I don't want to get anybody nervous, but you realize that there are 2 Y2K panic movies coming out this summer? Were you aware of that?
No.
Well, now you are. Not 1, but 2. Being as responsible as Hollywood always is and doing anything for a buck, even if even in the case they might just cause wild, massive panic and hysteria, which they're already going to do.
Did you see the kits about have your own Y2K baby, be the first one to have a Y2K baby?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why?
2K? Isn't that what Michael said in Godfather 1? A 2K?
People think they're going to win some money or something if they have the first baby?
I haven't got any idea. It's, again, a classic example, a demonstration to any of you who still have any remaining doubts of the lunacy of the human freaking race, okay? Just like the media continuing to use this term, ethnic cleansing in Yugoslavia. Ethnic cleansing, my fat ass. They're butchering, they're slaughtering. The word you're looking for is genocide, not ethnic cleansing. But hey, don't confuse them with the facts. It sounds much neater, ethnic cleansing. You know, like with Babbo, the, whatever that old commercial used to say. What'd that say, Brian? The something cleanser? What was the word that went in there? What does he know? Yeah, he's busy. No, seriously, so my point being this, that the last, at least 2 or 3 months of this year, probably the last quarter, especially after these two panic movies come out this summer. It's going to get everybody hysterical. The stock market, I'm afraid, even though it's having a big, it's up 170. Again, the Dow is up 170. If you don't have the 12 of those 30 stocks like GE and IBM and the ones that are going through the roof, it means nothing. The rest of the market is in the tank, okay? The Nasdaq's up 58, and if you got those tech stocks, AOL, you know the ones. AOL's on the, right, New York Exchange. Whatever the hell they are. But, Jesus Christ, I mean, people are going to be panicking. They're going to be hoarding all kinds of stuff. And somebody suggested to me, I think it was on the plane the other night, buying gold might not be a bad idea because people are going to go nuts. The last 3 months of the year, you mark my words, even though there's absolutely no reason for them to be doing it, they're going to go ape shot. You watch. Not one, but Hollywood coming out with 2 movies to announce to the world. Excellent. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
A couple of things. First of all, the Beach Boys are way, way better than Aerosmith.
No chance.
I don't know what kind of drugs you're taking.
Not in the same league with Aerosmith.
I would like to request an all Beach Boys day.
Yeah, okay, good. Call up Magic. Call up Tragic 102.7, okay? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Coconut Grove. Hello.
Oh, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What a loser. What an idiot that last call.
Right.
What stupid.
Speak up, sir. Speak into that thing.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. The Dolphins hopefully will get...
Okay, let's go to Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'm going to try and redeem me after those last 2 callers.
Redeem what? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. First off, just want to say tomorrow's my birthday.
Yeah.
So can I have the little music by chance, sir?
Can you have a little thing? I hear somebody beat me to it, yeah.
Thank you, sir. And, this is a nice little bit of news I thought you'd like to know. I know you don't like to talk sports, but you'll like it when I tell you this. You know Dwight Gooden...
There's only one sport, sir, and that's hockey. The rest of them are all fag stuff.
Well, you'll like this.
Are garbage.
I think it might involve fag stuff, though, just a little bit. Take me 2 seconds. It says Dwight Gooden, he's got a hernia. They thought he might be because he was lifting stuff. He says because he was using Chinese paint. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's some item, evidently, that's from a sex shop. So now he's on the disabled list with a hernia because he was using Chinese paint.
He was using Chinese paint on his...
I guess so.
Uh-huh.
I thought you'd kind of like that, though.
Maybe we'll put a different slant on the sex life.
Exactly.
Well,
all right,
kind of rough life. Okay, thanks for the good news. There's another reason to hate baseball. Oh! Doc Gooden. Hey, listen, we got to give him at least 40, 50 more chances. Straighten it out. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, I hear you say your ex-pharmacist used to be named Bruce.
Right. Bruce Goldman.
You know, he's on Broward Boulevard.
He's still there?
Nob Hill and Pine Island, on that Walgreens.
He's still there? That's what I'm asking you, sir. Is he still there? That's what I said.
He is.
Oh, I know Bruce real well, yeah. He knows me.
The last thing I just wanted to know, when your show starts every day and they come on with that disclaimer that everything's said here, without the express written consent.
Yes.
How come you hear all the in other stations when you're not on and I'm listening to something else? You hear your bits coming across there.
Meaning what? What does that mean?
Meaning just some of the stuff that, Boca Brian and all that stuff that you come up with.
Who else is
you hear it on other stations.
Who else is playing Boca Brian stuff?
I forget I don't remember.
Well, check it out and call me back. Okay, 5670560. Maybe Rick Riley's playing some of the old stuff like the Boca song, some of the other stuff he stole years ago. You know what I'm talking about? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We don't care if Rick steals some Boca Brian stuff. God
damn it!
Right. Here's a mobile in Perrine. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, maybe your guts are hurting because you're taking it up to shoot.
Yeah, take this. Shoot this, pal. 567. Oh, this is retard hour. I should have known. As soon as Andy called, you notice everything went right in the old crapper. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yo, Neil, shameless request. Can I hear some?
Let's go to a mobile in Margate. Hello.
Use Babbo, the foaming cleanser.
The foaming cleanser. That's
Cleans
it.
the dirt.
Okay, thank you. That's enough. Don't you remember that? Use Babbo, the foaming, however that thing used to go, yeah. Don't you remember that? Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was Ajax, the foaming cleanser. Well, so what difference does it make? That's not the point. Jesus. What a nitpicker. By the way, bring me that check back. I think there's a couple of zeros too many in that thing. Here's a lady mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Neil.
two things I'd like to tell you. Thanks, number one, for educating people about Atkins diet.
Right.
Don't you
I'm
love
going on a big crusade on that again, whether they like it or not. I don't care
Well-
how. I'm going on a massive crusade on it.
Don't you love when they're not educated and they say, oh, that's going to ruin your kidneys and you're going to die from taking
Yeah, right.
that, and they don't read anything.
That's why he's had hundreds of thousands of people go through there. They're all doing so great.
Exactly. Another thing, my husband saw this doctor in North Miami. He had high blood pressure for 4 months that the doctors couldn't get down.
Yeah.
They were giving him all kinds of medicine that's going to kill him eventually. 3 days with this doctor on Chinese and natural therapy, his blood pressure is better than normal.
Chinese paint?
Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
They had him on conventional prescription medicine. It about killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And this man is in North Miami. He's unbelievable. He does the chelation therapy. He does a lot of stuff with HIV. He's just unbelievable. And the doctors are just finally starting to figure out maybe they better get on the bandwagon and see what's going on. But thanks again for Atkins, because it really does work and it doesn't kill you.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
And have a great life. Okay, whatever you said. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. 21 till 2, the Hank Goldberg Show from PP Park, 2 o'clock till 3:30. Marlin pregame, 3:30 to 4. Marlins and the Mets at 4 o'clock. Any interest at all?
No.
Then followed by the Panther game, pregame, 7 o'clock. Panthers and the Washington Caps, 7:30 tonight. Any interest in that?
No.
Just a little tiny bit?
No.
Any enthusiasm?
No.
Any hope for the playoffs?
No.
Neil, this is Randy West, and as per our phone conversation, I talked to Peter North the other day. He tells me your real name is Neil Down, and he still ain't interested.
There was a shepherd on a rock. He sat in the meadow just shaking his fist at some boys who were down by the creek. Their feet in the water, their hands on their marbles and playthings, and at half past 4, there came a young lady. She looked like a pretty young creature. She sat on the grass. She pulled up her dress and she showed them her ruffles and laces and white fluffy duck. She said she was learning a new way to bring up her children so they would not spit, while the boys in the barnyard were shoveling refuse and litter from yesterday's hunt, while the girl in the meadow was rubbing her eyes at the fellow down by the dock. He looked like a man with a sizable home in the country with a big fence out front. If he asked her politely, she'd show him her little pet dog who was subject to fits. And maybe she'd let him grab hold of her small tender hands with a movement so quick. And then she'd bend over and suck on his candy so tasty made of butterscotch. And then he spread whipped cream all over her cookies that she had left out on her shelf. If you think this is dirty, you can go yourself.
145 at 560 WQAM. The tension, you can smell it, baby. Yeah, in the air with the Marlins baseball. The stench of something is in the air. Marlins and the Mets. We got 600 open lines and 14 minutes to kill. Can we do it?
No.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, Napoleon Kaufman, Dolphins. I could see it.
Yeah. You know what I can see? Dial tone. That's what I can see. Quick one. Here we had 3 hours of saving the world. Really good, intelligent, worthwhile stuff. And all of a sudden in the 1 to 2 hour, we got every goddamn moron. And you want to know why? Because they're frustrated. Because we're not done at a level. The sports nerd crap, okay? The best thing that could ever happen would be if tomorrow, other than the NHL, all the other sports went out of business. I've told you that before. And we can go on talking about important things like that. Thank you, Chuck. There's Chuck from the sub-center with my lunch today. Now we're talking about important stuff. 567. Any interest in these last 13 minutes today, or we just got a bunch of lunkheads, a bunch of morons, a bunch of idiots obsessed with crap, with turd burger stuff here? Good God Almighty. What kind of an imbecile gives a crap about Napoleon Kaufman, which, by the way, they just signed him, is what Defoe told me. Yeah, that was really funny, that thing on April Fool's Day, Defoe. Not. Oh, yeah, Neil lost his humor. And nothing like going into announcing to me today, knowing that I wasn't going to be here Friday, going into a verbal assault as if I give a crap with their little fag sports fans here on that morning show. God, is that a thing. Here's a mobile in the Gables. Hello. Mobile in the Gables. Delray Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil Rogers.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Good. Hey, listen,
I remember last week I didn't get a chance to talk to you about the funerals. I don't do them either. And I told my mom, you know, she's getting up there in age, and it kills me to even think about seeing her in a box. And I told her, she wasn't too happy about it, but I said, look, I'd rather know you, remember you how you were, instead of looking at you in a box.
Yeah.
And another thing with these idiots calling up about the sports, give it a rest, man. They got 20
That's all they know. That's their whole life. They've got 20 hours of this swill, this garbage, this crap. Yeah. That's all they know. This station attracts the worst maggots. I mean, here's some asshole calling the morning show this morning about betting the overs or the unders on a baseball game. I got news for you. People are out there betting baseball games. They need to be put away somewhere.
Man,
they need GA big time.
They got 20 hours of it. Why do they make us sit through their crap? Because I think they're doing it on purpose to piss you off, Neil.
Really?
I think they're trying to give you a heart attack.
Well, guess what? Ain't going to happen. 567-80560, pound 5. Maybe one doctor in this town might give me a heart attack, and it won't be Dr. Mark. We know who I'm talking about with all those pills, all of these things. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you should advertise in, what's his name, Tuckus. He has a big butt.
WQAM. QAM, hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
All the little punks, all the misfits. Aren't these in Dade County? That's right, they're out this week. Last week was Broward. This week is Dade County. Having a circle jerk on the phone. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Deerfield. Hello.
We all think you stink.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, thanks for listening to 560 WQAM, okay? And go back to New York while you're at it and have a great trip, or not, as the case may be. We all think you stink. Thank you, sir. Oh! It's unanimous. We just took a vote. We all think you stink. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
While I'm sitting at the
Welcome
bridge
back to
over
Miami,
here.
Neil.
I'm sorry?
I said, how you doing?
Pretty good. Anyways, while I'm sitting at the bridge over here, while it's going up, it's been up for about 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
Can we end the day with the bridge tender?
Here's a mobile in Belglade. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing, man?
Okay, sir.
A Cuban in Belglade, dude, for a week. This is worse than being in prison.
Yeah.
Not even funny. Mommy!
Hey, now, you notice how what did he do? His phone technique, did he have the phone in his
rectum?
Yeah, that must have been it. Another one of your people, by the way. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Homestead. Hello. Homestead.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Great.
I've been listening to your show today. This is one of the better shows you've ever done.
Up until 1 o'clock, it was great. That's what these people are pissed off about.
Yeah, well, you got some real...
They can't handle anything more serious than, than their kneecap.
I'm a cardiac patient, and I'm totally disabled
due
to that. And my doctor's got me on low pressure and Zocor. And some of the things you were saying earlier about the blood pressure medication, I asked him last month if I could cut it in half, and he said absolutely not, just for my own benefit.
How does he know that?
That's a good question. He thought about it for a while, and he said no. But I was sitting here a minute ago.
Well, how bad is your blood pressure?
Well, I just took it a few minutes ago. It's 132/80, and a pulse rate while resting is a 69. So
that's after you took it, or before you took it?
Well, I take it every morning.
Yeah.
And that's the only therapy he's put me on. I had a massive heart attack and lost about 35.
Well, then you better listen to what he says.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. But I'm concerned about whether or not I'm a candidate for Atkins.
Beats me.
This is the things you've been talking about lately,
Yeah.
getting off your medication and stuff is starting to really excite
Well,
me.
you have to talk to a doctor that believes in it and knows something about it, like Mark Laporta or somebody that's into it.
Okay.
Because if you talk to a doctor that doesn't believe in it, then you're spinning your wheels.
Well, my doctor, he's a minimalist, pretty much. He doesn't believe in.
Well, what does he say
surgical.
about Atkins?
I haven't asked him.
Well, there you go. That's the best way.
Okay.
Ask him. Good luck.
Next week.
Okay. See ya. I guess that's the best way to do it is to ask him. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yeah, I think it's time to bring back the lightning round.
Yeah, I think it's time to bring back a straitjacket for assholes like you is what it's time. Wait until, the sports nerds get back on, okay, sir? Then we'll be loaded with your crap, okay? It'll be coming out of our pores. It'll be pouring bull crap. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Bunch
of simpletons we got this hour. Bunch of jackasses. Must be the sports people tuning in early.
How about this one?
Must be the Marlin fans getting all bent out of shape and psychotic. All 10 of them.
That's right. Mariah Carey and Luis Miguel. That's the hottest item they're talking about. That Mariah
Carey, she's allegedly banging everybody. Everything that's
Wait a minute. I thought Luis Miguel was more interested in Roger Nielsen than
Luis Miguel is into whatever moves, evidently. Who knows?
Oh, he is? Okay. I thought we had a scoop here.
He goes always, Luis.
Very good, sir.
North, south, east, and west. 5670560. He's like all those Julios. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 8 minutes till 2. Boy, we got a great lunch here, and thank God, none too soon either.